1-800-GAMBLER.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Drink up, baby. Fantasy Football Happy Hour is here to get you wins and have some laughs. Matthew Berry here, and my podcast, Fantasy Football Happy Hour, has the sleepers, busts, and start-sit advice you need to win your league. We're diving into the tape, we're crunching the numbers to bring you sleepers, busts, weekly start-sit advice. Whether you're defending a title or desperately avoiding last place, I've got you covered every single weekday. The bar is open. It's Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry, wherever you get your podcasts.
Listen to the Chiefs and Seahawks this Friday with pregame starting at 6 and kickoff at 7. All right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
And welcome to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams. What's going on, Nate Dogg?
Bink, how are you, my friend?
Good, my friend. How are you?
Doing well. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute, but when it is time, it is time for some Chiefs, Royals. You're a big Royals guy, and we've got a lot to talk about with the Kansas City Royals tonight, too.
Guilty. Yeah, I'm ready, man. Fired up.
We got preseason game 2. We got 3 this Friday. We got college football on Saturday. We had some high school football last Saturday. I don't know if you caught any of those. I love when ESPN, dives into those. They showed Battleground from Tennessee playing St. Michael's of Alabama. It was Phillip Rivers' team. He was the head coach, and his son was the quarterback, and Blake Shelton's kid was the quarterback on the other team. So it was kind of fun. It's a lot of fun because it's real football. You get all this preseason, which I'm guilty of watching way too much of that.
I rely on you usually for my high school football updates. So Rivers is back as the head coach of the team.
He's back.
After his brief stint last fall.
You got Missouri starting this week, then Kansas the following week. But high school football is back. College football week 0 is this Saturday. I don't know if you plan on watching some of the games, but always a good time. But you're probably locked into the Kansas City Royals. You've been working with Vern a little bit?
Been working with Vern. Of course, the Royals will take priority until the Chiefs kick off here. But yeah, week 0, of course I'll be tuned in. Maybe not locked in. Probably won't call it locked in till the local teams start. But tuned in, for sure.
Well, the one thing we did get treated to was game 2 of the preseason. And one of these things are, you always have these guys you want to look out for, and you always have your list of players that you want to see, and you want to see what they'll be able to do. And then they go out there and they play limited or don't play as well, or something doesn't go right, the offensive line looks bad or whatever, and you can't really get a good judgment on the different players you're looking at. But I'll tell you this much. The coaches see most of that in practice. They see your practice techniques. They know about you and how you go about it, and are you just about the game, and is that the only time that you show out? There's so many things to go on behind the scenes. It's tough, and there's oftentimes these snap judgments. If somebody has a down preseason game from this game, but had a good one the last one, it's almost the what did you do for me lately? It's the what did you do for me lately, not what you're going to do for me the entire season. And we saw a lot of that. And we saw a lot of that when it came to Khalil Benson. We saw a lot of that with the Kansas City Chiefs as far as, how good's he going to be? Is he really worth his weight in salt? What do you think about Khalil Benson? We haven't talked about Khalil and kind of where you stand on that.
Well, more than anything, I think I don't know enough about offensive line play to accurately give a analysis about him. He seems, from my uneducated eye, too slow in the games that I've watched. Again, it's the preseason. So we talked in the bullpen about, if you think Khalil Benson sucks, you also probably think FAU is getting 20 sacks this year. And you can't really draw conclusions based on what we've seen thus far.
Or the Ruben Bain had a good snap
one good
Khalil
snap.
Benson, which, by the way, went to the silent count, and he's not used to that. So we'll see what happens. But, yes, it is tough to just – or if a guy makes a one-headed catch, and you see it all around the NFL, a guy makes a one-headed catch, it's like, oh, my gosh, this guy's now the truth. Or, hey, Jalen Royals, we'd given up on it. These games show up. I've seen guys get 2 sacks in a preseason game and cut like the next day.
Right. Or go back to the NCAA the next day. Yeah, I think Khalil Benson, to me, looks too slow to play the position. Maybe he needs to be kicked inside / I don't know, trim up. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm not an offensive line coach, but I wouldn't be thrilled about the prospect of rolling him out there as starting right tackle as of today. Do you have a different read?
No, I mean, it's weird. Khalil Benson's kind of an interesting deal, and clearly that was one of the guys to watch this weekend. I mean, he's one of the primary guys because one thing you want to see is, can the offense still be facilitated? Can it still run? With Patrick Mahomes back there, is it still going to be in sync, or is the offensive line woes from the edges? Is that going to be tough? And I know Simmons didn't play in this game. That's why he is ultra important to the Kansas City Chiefs, because the worst case scenario, and Trey Smith did come back to practice today, so that was good. The worst case scenario is Trey Smith's gone and Josh Simmons gone, because then Jalen Moore's over there, then Khalil Benson, over at your right tackle, and that's definitely not the bookends at offensive line.
I mean, that's the same situation you were in December.
Yeah, you just don't want to see it. You want to be able to see it, and you want Kenneth Walker to be able to thrive and do his thing and not deal with guys in the backfield from the defense getting back to him, and before the offense really gets rolling. You get a situation where the offensive line it's a jailbreak from the defensive line through the offensive line, swinging gate. And you don't want to see that at all, so it's incredibly frustrating. It is so important this offensive line does its job so that Eric Bieniemy and company and Mahomes and Reed can use that creativity to bring this offense back to where it was. But it's not going to get back to where it was if you're having offensive line troubles.
Well, not to mention, I assume number 15 is fully healthy based on
Luke
everything
Bryan's
we've seen.
I said Blake Sheldon. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Oh, shout out text line.
I got the Country Stars going up, but it's Luke Bryan.
Shout out
Battleground Tennessee.
Yeah, social media has been having a field day with Luke Bryan recently. Look that up if you want some fun later tonight.
It was Luke Bryan.
Yeah. What are we talking about here? The offensive line. Oh, yeah, your quarterback.
Blake Shelton has a kid.
I think he's healthy because he's doing like fake basketball moves on the field before a preseason game, so I think he's good to go. But you have to admit, he is still recovering from a torn ACL. So I would also like him to feel comfortable behind that offensive line as well and not immediately go back to Pole and Godric and now Benson. It just especially right off the rip here at the start, we got to be healthy. We got to all be there.
No, you do, and it's really weird because it's something you really haven't seen a lot before. Because with usually the offensive line who starts that first day of training camp, that's their guy. Because Andy Reid doesn't do a lot of playing around or anything. He's pretty set in his ways from OTAs and everything, talking to the coaching staff, who's going to be your player. It's not give this guy a chance. Everything's by a reason. Everything's for a plan. It's like when Simmons was the starting left tackle. He came off the injuries, missed 10 games at Ohio State. And then was he going to be ready? They brought in Jalen Moore. Was he going to be ready? But day one, guess what? It was Josh Simmons. It wasn't Jalen Moore. It was Josh Simmons. I remember when Trey Smith was a rookie. Here's this 6th-round pick, boom, thrown in immediately to in guard and never looked back. Well, Jalen Moore was the first-day starter at right tackle. It was practice 1. You know what happened the rest of the practice, 17 practices? It was Khalil Benson. Now, was that to give him reps? Well, he can certainly get reps with the number 2 string as well. You can certainly garner that from what you're seeing going against that defensive line. So it's not an imperative. What it is imperative is you're running with the ones, you're building that chemistry. You're building that chemistry with the offensive line. That's why it's so important when you hear of offensive line starting together. This is their 15th straight game or 16th straight game because you're learning the intricacies of what your guard's doing if you're the tackle, and you're building that chemistry down.
Yeah, and I wonder if they also, this is not reporting, I have no information to believe this is the case. If you're not relying on a Josh Simmons at the start of the year, whether it's due to health, whatever else, Do you want the weaker option? Of course you want that weaker option playing right tackle. It's not your quarterback's blind side. But also next to one of the best guards in the National Football League. Can he help sort of mask a deficiency there that Kingsley can't on the left side? So are they playing, do they want Benson and Smith getting used to each other because they anticipate more, no pun intended, on the left side of the line this year? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't love Jalen Moore starting at either tackle position. As a swing backup tackle, as a sixth O lineman, sure, I'm all for Jalen Moore. He never had a starting role prior to covering for Trent Williams' injury 2 years ago. He wasn't overly inspiring last year in his play for this Chiefs team, but I'll take it over what I've seen from Khalil Benson. But again, it is the preseason. I'm going to defer to Andy Heck, Andy Reid, and the coaching staff.
Because you would hate to see, all right, well, on the 30th, or that weekend of the 30th, sometimes guys cut the day before, whatever, going to be scouring the waiver. Would I be surprised if an offensive lineman comes in?
Heck no.
I would not be surprised at all if the Chiefs actually are pretty active when it comes to that. But how good is the player? How tangible is the player? You still have 2 weeks to get more acclimated with the system. You won't be all the way there. But the fact is, with the Chiefs on Monday Night Football and the game's the 14th, you do have half the month of September to get ready. But you hate for it to come down there because you want your team locked and loaded and ready to go now.
Well, you do. I would, would I freak out about it? No, and I wouldn't be surprised either. I might actually prefer it if we get a new name, especially maybe as a depth interior piece. Because look, Trey Smith dealt with injuries last year. He's had a nagging one this training camp as well. And Kingsley, I think he's going to stick at left guard, but are you assuming health for all 3 of those guys in the middle? I'm not. It's football. Guys are going to miss starts. And Mike Caliendo, I've seen him play a lot. Not impressed there either. Hunter Norzad, I'm sure he's a very nice human being. Uninspired as well by his play. So I would love a depth piece on the interior as well. Not to mention, got big fat old question mark at right tackle as of right now.
It is, and it's the whole offense and what you can do. I mean, defense actually looked, pretty good, and we'll get to Mason Thomas and the way he looked in that game, and then Felix with that textbook sack. I mean, that was about as textbook high school kids watch what this guy does. Tackle the sack he made on Brown. They tore Browning up because then Jaden Hicks drilled him as well. I mean, that was freaking textbook by Felix on that play. It's good to see him with a little bit of juice. Not saying he's all the way there. Again, these are mostly against backups, what you're seeing in preseason. And guess what? Preseason game 3, get used to Friday night. It is a ton. And I don't know who's playing yet. Andy Reid hadn't set the plate yet for who's playing for the Chiefs or not. If the starters do play, it'll be extremely, extremely limited for just a couple of plays or a series to get them in there and going, because they did not do that scrimmage with another football team this year. They didn't do that. No. So this would be their only action, but it's a lot of backups. And this is what teams are doing. Hell, even the Cleveland Browns are throwing all their backups this weekend.
Boy, they're starting at quarterback, who I thought will be their backup. And in games that count, that's a different conversation I'm sure we'll get to later. No, what I'm looking for out of a guy like Felix and a guy like Mason Thomas is speed. I'm not looking for a sack. And again, I'm not as technique savvy or inclined to make comments on their technique like maybe you or other experts are. What I do know is that position has lacked burst, has lacked get-off in the recent years. And George Karlaftis, he's a high motor guy. He's a set the edge, finish the play sort of guy. He's not a run right past you guy. And that's what this Chiefs D line has needed since, really, I would say Frank Clark, maybe before him. Frank Clark is probably considered a speed edge, wouldn't you say? They haven't had anybody since then.
Yeah, he's Mr. Postseason Frank Clark, but it's when you needed him.
Yeah. So I can, the returns on Mason Thomas so far are great. He looks like he's got that first step. Felix has flashed it as well. And look, unfortunately, with the injury concerns about Gelati, I know they brought Ogba back. You got to think Felix is a near lock to be in the 4 defensive ends that crack camp on opening day. So he's going to get a shot to stick on this team. Whether Gelati comes back as healthy or they elevate Ogba or whatever else, he could lose that early on in the season, but he's going to get a chance.
No, he is. We'll talk about that. I want to know this. What really stood out to you? What do you really feel confident in right now after week 2, going to week 3? What do you feel confident in, and what do you not feel confident in? What is it about this football team? And it can be a generalization, too. You're worried about the offense. You're worried about the continuity. You're worried about the fact that they finally got into the end zone this past weekend. It's all been about Harrison Butker. Maybe you're not worried about Harrison Butker anymore. Maybe that 69-yard field goal changed your mind. But what has you hyped and what has you kind of timid? as far as the Chiefs for 2026. 913-586-7965 is the J Southland Tow Service text line. We'll do that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem. Because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. And you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV, built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
Something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive offers, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day. Sign up with DraftKings today with code 965 and get ready to celebrate the biggest day of the season. DraftKings Game Day has deals dropping all day long. One app, every sport. Mark the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new era and the biggest day in sports history. New DraftKings customers sign up with code 965 and spend $5 to get $200 in bonus bets within 21 days. That's code 965. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You work hard, you pay your bills, but with credit cards, higher gas and grocery prices, you're making the payments, but not getting ahead. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Golden Oak can help you refinance, consolidate bills, and free up monthly cash flow. Call today for a free mortgage checkup. There's never a charge to talk with us.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Expect mostly clear skies tonight with a low of 68.
Weather brought to you by Staples. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
You already know that every Royals game is right here on 96.5 The Fan. But if you're looking for more Royals coverage, tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Fernier throughout the week. He joins Fesco and Dusty every Monday morning at 8:20. Cody and Gold every Wednesday at 12:30. And he joins The Drive every Friday at 3. Miss anything? Check it out on the show podcast or All Things Fern Channel, wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
And welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams. We've got Ron Koff from Arrowhead Pride coming on about 7 o'clock. Asked everybody, 913-586-7965, what stood out What are you confident in with this Chiefs team and what scares you? Or do you watch preseason football and take it with a grain of salt? Because you have to be this way. You can't be, oh, that's the best game I ever saw. I see this Broncos, through the years, like over the last decade. Oh, that's the best Broncos-Chiefs game. No, I just get to go back decades and decades to say it is the best. You could say the best you ever saw. That's fine. But don't say it's the best ever, because that's always tough to do.
First thing that I am impressed with, and I know we've got some texts to get to as well. I agree with some. This is not snarky. It's going to sound snarky. I'm excited for 2027. Okay? I'm serious, because this team has gaps at the edge position, at the right tackle position, at the wide receiver position. And I was murmuring over here, like, as big as the 2026 offseason was, next offseason is going to be huge at these key positions. Man, I feel as though I can't name them because I'm not going to overreact to a preseason game. I'm comfortable knowing that they're going to have pieces. One or two of these guys, a Benson, an Allen, a Woods, an R. Mason Thomas, a couple of these guys are going to stick. And then next offseason is going to get easier. They can pinpoint with better, precision what needs they're going to have. So whereas 2 weeks ago, maybe before the draft this year, you're sitting looking like, what is the future of this team? I feel much, much better about the long term, maybe the second half of this dynasty, if you will, than I did at the end of last season.
This draft's going to be interesting when it comes out, because it appears that there could be some misses that we've seen in the first round. Not real wild about what we've seen so far from guys I liked and guys I didn't like. It's been all over the place, to be quite honest with you, on what to expect as far as that's concerned. But to me also, R. Mason Thomas, this guy's got some juice, man. I'm telling you, whenever you watched Oklahoma last year, you always knew that R. Mason was on the other side. He was fun to watch. And I remember he had a 71-yard return for a touchdown, a fumble return. He got it, hurt his quad on the play, but still, he shows that athleticism, almost had a pick six this week. And again, this is why Andy Reid, or Steve Spagnuolo, Spags more specifically, always hands up. The Chiefs have an ability to knock down a lot of passes. And you see it all the time from that defensive line. Hands up, good things happen when that ball is straight up in the air. And R. Mason Thomas this year, he will have a pick. It'll be a deflected ball off his hands or whatever. He's that kind of guy. His nose is around the football. He's that kind of guy, that electric guy that can do things on defense. Hands always up. It's always so important for those arms to be raised, and you see that a lot with the defensive line.
Yeah, two other things I'm excited about. One is the secondary, and it's less from a Delay or Canada or Gilman or any of these guys individually have looked good. It is that after seeing the cohesive unit, I am of the belief that Spags and Merritt haven't lost a step. I am, more confident in the down four, the front four, on a third and long, which gives the secondary better ability to get off the field. We saw the Thanksgiving game last year where CD and George Pickens had 12 seconds to fool around with McDuffie and Watson. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, but also it will allow Spags to send a slot corner, send a linebacker, something like that,
and
knowing that
the
secondary is still going to be good. Hicks had a sack. There was one more sack out of the secondary, wasn't there, on Saturday?
I think the only recorded ones were with
Hicks,
Felix,
FAU,
and Fick.
I thought there was one more. I can find that here in just a second, but I'm confident the secondary is, maybe it's not going to be quite the strength it was last year. It's going to be fine.
Those years they won back-to-back Super Bowls, right? Over Philly and San Fran. Guess what? They were number 2 in the NFL in sacks. And they weren't doing it with an elite pass rusher, right? Doing it also from the interior with guys like Chris Jones. They were doing it from the inside linebacker position, getting a few from the outside linebacker, getting some from the safeties, from the corners. That's kind of what you're getting.
It was Amari McNeil. He is very much not a secondary player.
D-line.
Yeah. And my third thing is the running back room. Not that any of these guys had standout performances on Saturday in Tampa, but just I can see it. I can see the juice in Emmett Johnson and Ken Walker. Obviously, I knew it existed in Ken Walker just based on watching his career thus far. It looks like Johnson is going to translate from college to the NFL to some extent. Just having a running back that can hit a hole.
Oh, I think he's going to play in the league.
Can break a tackle.
I'm excited
to
see it.
It's so refreshing.
And they'll work on the pass blocking because that was his knock kind of coming out of the draft, was the pass blocking and some of the skill sets he did at the combine. Where you're saying, why this guy led the Big Ten in rushing? He was everything for Nebraska. Had the ball more than anybody there. He was the go-to bell cow. He led the Big Ten in rushing. Funny thing is, they actually have 2 conference rushing champions on their team with Jade Knott trying to make the team. You'll see him a lot this Friday night. He won't make the roster. He would, at most, probably be on the practice squad, but he will play in the National Football League at some point. I like that. But, yeah, the running game and see what you got. But they can work on this stuff, like the pass blocking, pass protection. But it is ultra important. Like, it is more important right now with this team for the running backs to be good pass blockers. Like, honestly, it really is, because if they're getting through the tackles and they're working your right tackles, which right now they are, and they're getting back there, guess who's got to pick up that last line of defense? The running backs do. And if you got somebody that plays OLA or, bullfighter, and they get straight to the quarterback, you don't want to see that. That's more important, honestly, than rushing yards. That's what you got Kenneth Walker for. But your third down back, it's important to pass block. And it's something we're going to have to see. But I do like the juice of Emma Johnson. The running back room is so deep. I mean, honestly, the practice squad is going to be loaded for the Kansas City Chiefs. Throwing like a Jade Knott on there that's at the training camp with them. I mean, it's going to be loaded there and keep 4 running backs, in my opinion, on the roster this year when the roster's set on August 30th when they make all their cuts. I think they'll keep 4 running backs in this situation. And you have to see what Kenneth Walker can do. But they need the line to play strong, man. You need Jalen Moore, because that same when he filled in San Francisco for Trent Williams, which one thing Frisco does all the time is run the ball. So you would hope to be the case. And Josh Simmons better run blocking than he was pass blocking last year. So that's something that we want to see. But R. Mason Thomas, love seeing what you got there. Love Felix, because I don't know. I mean, they say Gelati could be back by the first game. I mean, it's going to be tough. These type of injuries, and I'm no doctor, but sometimes they do. That's optimistic, I think. Week 1 would be tremendous optimism for that plantar fascia injury. But again, guys heal at different times. Patrick Mahomes' ACL was done a lot quicker than people thought. I mean, guys, and you know what? Keep in mind, Omar Norman Lott had a torn ACL too a lot earlier than Mahomes did, but he's not back yet. Again, guys heal different times.
What's the required stay on the PUP list? Is it 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I think look, like you said, guys heal at different rates. Torn plantar fascia, 3 weeks to return and play an NFL game seems really optimistic. And in my head, when I heard of that injury, I thought he would start the season on the PUP list and miss the first few games. The fact that he's still in consideration for week 1 shocked me.
4 regular season. When you're on it, it's 4 regular season.
I wouldn't put that out of the woods. I would not put it beyond. I don't think it's crazy to me to say Gelati could easily end up on the PUP list as well. Again, I don't know anything related to this. I haven't heard anything, but it just feels like a very optimistic timeline. I think instead you've got Ogba, and then you don't have to make a call on FAU. I think he's going to get a few weeks to show what he can do against real teams.
And the one thing about PUP is you do it during training camp. It doesn't count against your 90 guys you can have at training camp.
Yeah.
But the regular season, if you apply it when the 53-man rosters are set, when you go on PUP, then boom, you got to go. You don't count against the active roster. So if someone goes on PUP right before then, you don't count against the active roster, but they're out for 4 games.
Yeah, and the 915 just said it, or the 816, just said it really well. It's also going to bother him all year. So is this something we're going to shove Ashton Gelati, quickly back onto the field for week 1? Now, if it was a divisional playoff game, maybe. But are we going to really start this season with him having this nagging thing already, or should we give him a few weeks? And I would err on the side of caution. Knowing what I know about and I haven't been through a torn plantar fascia, it doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound easy to recover from.
Here's what Andy Reid, by the way, if we're still on that game here, this is the deal on Khalil Benson. I want you to hear this because he did say this today when Chris and I brought it up on the podcast, Character Concerns, that we did before the show. But, people often take clips, and you always look at clips, 20-second clips. And the Chiefs put out a lot, during training camp. They even did one of Jeff Caldwell's great catch. And guess what? Jeff Caldwell got cut today with an injury designation, but got released. So that does happen. I mean, you can't be always enamored by the clips. But, the Tampa Bay pass rush, Reuben Bain got past and worked over Khalil Benson. But did Khalil Benson exactly know the snap count?
Kind of moved this kid all over the place. He did some good things. He's got some things he's got to work on, but you can see the talent there. He opened the gate a couple times on his drop, but he's got a lot of talent and he wants to do the right things, and he's got the ability to do it. It's just getting these reps. We went silent count too, which was new to him, and so you saw he was laid off the ball a couple times, but all of that he banks, and he'll be important once we start the season for him.
So there you go. That's something he's got to work on, right? Silent counts because you're going to be in some loud places. But he said Benson wasn't used to it. You saw him kind of looking over, right? So he was always going to be delayed a second or two. That's why he got worked over. Timing does matter. One or 1.5 seconds does matter for offensive linemen if they're slow off the ball, especially against a speed rusher like Bain, because they will take advantage of you.
Now, am I declaring Khalil Benson's career over because of a bad snap in the second week of the preseason? No, absolutely not. What I am saying, though, is I'm not buying hey, maybe the silent count was new to him. He's not new to playing on the O-line. And also, like you mentioned, guess what you're going to have to use in Denver or in other road games. The first few don't come to mind because you're not going to need it in Vegas or Miami. Those teams don't have fans. You won't need it in San Diego. You won't need it in L.A. Maybe in Buffalo you'll need it. Point is, you're going to be using the silent count. The Chiefs didn't just roll this out to Khalil Benson last week. So I'm not buying the whole
I don't know how much they worked
for
on
this.
it, though, in St. Joe, because obviously they did the music playing and everything else. But you would hope that wouldn't be the case, that he would be more familiar.
That said,
with the
it's
snap
one
count.
rep in the second week. I'm not overreacting to it. I just don't buy the silent count excuse. That's all.
Don't buy it as an excuse.
Nope. Well, and I don't want to hear it in week 6 like we hear every year of, we've got some things to clean up. Here's why it happened. Well, great. I'd like it not to happen, please.
Well, I will be tuned in Friday night, my friend, because we had college football on Saturday. Then we have college football the next weekend. We get NFL football the next weekend. We get actually starting on Wednesday night. Chiefs don't play. Tell me that's going to be the longest week ever, watching all these other teams play. The Chiefs play on Monday night, but you had a couple weekends here of college football. But coming up next, we'll talk about something near and dear to your heart. The Kansas City Royals in this 8-game streak. You buying into it, or is it typical Royals doing this crap late? We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season long with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB's same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. MLB trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Dane Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dane Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
When your joints hurt every single day and you've been told you need surgery, it can feel like there's only one option left. But please, do your homework. Remember, once a joint is replaced, there's no going back. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Before you schedule that surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with the pain of bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or just years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatments to deliver real relief to patients right here in Kansas City. They concentrate tiny healing tools from within your own body, targeting the exact spot that's causing the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. So get your free consultation at QC Kinetics now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located at 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Eight straight for the Kansas City Royals, Nathan. A little bit too late, or do you like to see the spunk in the way this team is playing? I will say this, there was times they were still losing games. You know, Nick Lofton was out there doing his deal. Massey was doing out there. No Pasquantino, no Michael Garcia. Remember when Bobby went down for a while? But these guys, you know, were plugging away and keeping it in there until the bullpen would blow it. If any year to be a bad team and still, because usually you need to be over 500, of course, to make the postseason. You probably will this year too, the way things will shake out when they finally shake out. But let's be honest. This was the year, if any year to be kind of, you know, bad to average bad, this was the year to do it, you know, because you probably could have made the postseason because a team that does not have a great record, like the Minnesota Twins are flirting around with the wild card. Yeah. And you've seen the Twins. I've seen the Twins. The Royals have a winning record against the Twins this year. They're not a good team.
You got your tickets for October yet? I bought in. No, by the way, Tigers, who the Royals are chasing, are down 2-0. So we're scoreboard watching, right?
That's right.
No, I'm not putting any stock into it whatsoever.
Well, last year, the Tigers were the last wild card team, but they were 12 games over 500. Situation's much different this year.
Situation's much different. And look, the Tigers, huge comeback last year. Or was it 2 years ago the Tigers had that amazing comeback in the last 2
years? Because last year Cleveland caught them, remember?
63. Yeah, then it was the opposite last year. So they were 8 games under at the All-Star break, whereas this team, having won 8 straight games, is still 16 under, and we're barreling down on September. So, no, this team's not going to the playoffs. It's funny to talk about, but I also, you know, the Rangers, the Guardians, the Blue Jays, even the Twins are all fighting around for this wild card. They're all under 500. One of these teams is going to get quote-unquote hot, win 82 or 83 games. You're going to have to go above 500 to make it, but not by much. And so what I'm about to do, Bink, is something that I hate when other fans do. All right, I hate when people say, well, if this team just wouldn't have lost 8 straight games, if they just would have gone 4-4, they'd be in the playoffs. Because you can't undo bad stretches of baseball. You wouldn't want to undo this good stretch either. But I did look at the bad part of this Royals season. In April, they lost 8 in a row. Remember that road trip at Detroit, at New York? Yeah. They then lost 10 out of 11 in May. Remember that road trip in Chicago, in St. Louis, swept by Boston at home. And then at the end of the month, they lost 7 out of 8 to the Rangers and the Yankees.
There's 6 games, or what? They're 6 games over 500 at home.
Yeah,
they're 22 under on the road.
Yeah, most of this was on the road. Absolutely. So in those 3 stretches, they went 2-25, 2 wins to 25 losses. And had they just gone 10-17, they would be sole owners of a playoff spot today. So I'm not saying get rid of the bad baseball. I'm just saying play bad baseball instead of historically bad baseball. They'd be in the freaking playoffs with all these injuries, all these slow starts. It really more than anything, what this hot stretch does to me is gets me fired up and infuriated about what happened in April and May this year.
Oh, it does.
That's what it does.
And just look at who's hovering around the wild card. Texas tied with Cleveland. They're tied for that final wild card spot. Both of them are under 500. Both of them are 65 and 66.
The Rangers have a negative 50 run differential. They stink.
Yeah, they're 46 negative, and the Toronto's minus 55, and the Royals play the Blue Jays here starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Minnesota minus 54 run differential, followed by Baltimore minus 35. So Minnesota sits 2 games back.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto a game and a half. So again, the schedule, you have competitive teams. Like Detroit was one of them. Detroit was one of the teams that were hovering right there as far as being a wild card team, getting swept by the Royals. They're now back to 3.5 back at this point. But you look at this division. What are the Royals against the Twins this year? They're 8-5 against the Minnesota Twins, who do have a chance still for the wild card.
They won the series
against
the
Detroit. The Royals are 7-6, against Detroit on the season. 3-7 against Chicago White Sox. But that's been the difference. When you're 10 games over 500 or 11 games over 500 against the White Sox, those 10 or 11 games mean so much in the standings. That was the thing going into the season. Because I thought Chicago White Sox are actually going to be better this year, and they were. It's like, okay, where do those wins come from? Because if you're not getting, if you're not going, 12-1 against the White Sox, you're not going 11-2 against the White Sox.
Yeah.
Where are those other wins?
Well, imagine the flip
come
side,
up for. And Cleveland, the Royals are 3-4. I mean, the series is right there, and they got the Cleveland a couple more times
next weekend
on the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but if it were flipped, because we did that in 2024, right? The Royals won 86 games, but they went 12-1 against the White Sox or something like that. If you flip that, they went 7-3 against the White Sox. Sure, they'd be 2 or 3 games out of a wild card spot right now. They'd still be like 62 and 70. I mean, it'd still be significantly under 500, and we would still be saying they beat up on a bad division, and look where they are still. So I'm almost, and this stinks because I'm sitting here, I'm mad they're not in the playoffs, and I'm about to sound like a person who's not a fan of the team. It's probably better for the long-term viability of this organization that they aren't 64 and 67 and holding a wild card spot, that they don't end up going 81 and 81 and sneaking in. Because you do have to wonder if that would change course of this offseason for the front office. That'd be the worst thing long-term.
That's the thing. Worst thing, because feel that false sense of hope, which we've seen this last couple of years. This lineup's going to look a lot the same. The bullpen will be the part that'll be shaken up. Noah Cameron, I love what we've seen from him, and I hope that continues. We didn't see it at the beginning of the year this year, but it's turned into that. And Noah Cameron has been great for this team. The biggest frustration to me, though, Nathan, is that all these teams that are in the wild card hunt, the Royals are right there with them. Like they were competitive with them or beating them. The only team that wasn't, they're 1-5 against Texas, and clearly Texas sitting here. Matter of fact, it wasn't for the bad Royals at that point. Texas wouldn't even be in the wild card.
Texas benefited from the bullpen meltdowns more than any other team did.
Yeah, year. And but it's fun. It's fun to see them win. Obviously, they got the ball rolling against the Angels and the A's, so two of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. You get to take advantage of it, and then you get to play Detroit, and they hammered them away. But again, there's 6 games over 500 at home, 2,200 on the road, so a much different team on the road at home. Are they poised? Is this team poised to go on a run? They need to win at least, 25 games? I think the rest of the way out.
They would need to get to 83, in my opinion, to have a shot.
So
maybe
84.
83 would be 25-5.
Okay,
That's right,
so
25-5. Uh-huh.
Yeah, text line chiming in with that number as well. So, yeah, it would have to be a run. So they'd have to learn to win on the road. I mean, they would have to learn to win on the road. Are they poised to still go? Are they poised to go out and sweep the Blue Jays? This is the kicker, man. They go out and sweep the Blue Jays, I think then you can start talking. Don't you feel that way? Like if you go 3 sweeps in a row, do you feel like at that point, all right, let's see what we got here. We may have something special going on. But if you go out and get rolled by the Blue Jays, I know, here's the thing. Cleveland last year caught Detroit. Cleveland was 11 games behind Detroit. Kansas City is only 7.5 back from the wild card. Cleveland was 11 games back from Detroit on September 4th. We're on the 23rd of or 24th of August. Mm-hmm. So on the 4th of September, they were 11 games back, but still, balled out and won the division.
Look,
and that was the first time that's happened in Major League Baseball. So it had to happen back-to-back years. But the problem is, and they won't make it. And it would be a bad thing because wholesale changes need to be made with this team. And I'm a little bit worried about next season starting on time. Might not start until June, the way things are going, which really, really sucks. But this was the year. Like if you were going to mire around in mediocrity, this was the year to be sitting here right now at a game and a half back or 2 games back and really having a lot of fun. That's why this series is really pivotal against the Blue Jays, because the Blue Jays, they're a game and a half back. They feel like they're still in it. So you go out there and sweep the Blue Jays, good things can happen, but that's the cart before the horse.
You've got a chance. You better not be the first team to give up a long ball to Vladdy at home this year. That can't break on your watch. You know he hasn't hit a single home run in Canada this season, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. How many hundreds of millions he's getting paid? Yeah. He hasn't hit one home run in Canada.
So the schedule definitely changes. 3 at Toronto, then 3 at Cleveland. Then you got Miami, who's fighting for a spot as well. And then Toronto again, but it's at the K. And then Arizona. The Diamondbacks been playing, good baseball as well. Then at Boston. And then at Houston. That's a killer road trip. Because it's Boston, then at Houston, then at Pittsburgh, before you finish up at home with Chicago and then Cleveland. And who knows what Chicago's motivation is going to be at that point.
Yeah, every single one of those teams is mediocre besides Boston, though. That's the thing. Even though on the road at Houston sounds tough, what are they, 65 and 66? They're under 500. Miami is 3 games above 500. They're all mediocre. And to your
I'm just saying they're better than the Angels and the A's. They completely those teams suck.
Yeah, Look, to answer your question, if they're 5 back at the start of September, sure, they could make it. But in all reality, with how fun these conversations are, with the fact that I want them to win because I'm a fan of this team, they do not have the starting pitching. They do not have the bullpen to keep this hot streak up. Against a regular baseball team, they would have lost 2 or 3 to the A's last week. They only happen to run into the only bullpen in baseball worse than them. And the A's could not be bothered to win that series. I mean, I've never seen a team want to win games less than the A's did here at Kauffman Stadium last week. That's not going to happen.
They built up a lead, then the Royals just blew
in
right
Toronto,
through it.
in Cleveland. So,
or they would come back and make it interesting. The Royals would just keep pouring it on. It's fun to watch. I mean, these 8 games. I love watching Royals baseball, but it's always fun when they win. And we'll see what they do against Toronto in 3 games. But if they go out and sweep them, but again, calling for a sweep is tough. The Royals, seriously, they're primed. For a 4-game road losing trip. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they lost 4 in a row or 5 in a row on the road. That would ultimately kill them for the season.
We got a text
they're
here.
Like one long road trip losing streak away.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll happen over the next month and a half. It just will. The 816 talks about, if they keep winning, they're going to fire nobody and do the same thing again next year. So you're a casual if you want them to win. Newsflash, they're not going to be firing anybody of significance, even if they go 58 and 104 or whatever that would be. So this is not the NFL, it's not the NBA. You can't tank your way to number 1 and pick one player to save you. With that being said, I'd rather watch my team win than watch them lose. But I'm not going to be delusional about what this could be. It's a funny story. It's funny that they're 16 games under and they're still in the wild card race. That's stupid and insane, but it's funny.
Yeah, that third wild card team sucks. I mean, the baseball doesn't need that, to be honest with you. And right now, when you have a bunch of teams, fighting for that spot that are under 500, because you think about it. I just mentioned Texas and Cleveland are both under 500, and 1 game under. But then there's Toronto, 1 game and a half back. They're 2 games under. And then the Minnesota Twins are 5 games under. 5. But they're only 2 games back.
Bink, the Houston Astros are under 500 and just fired their world champion general manager, and they are in first place.
Now, the National League is kind of on par because the Diamondbacks are 7 games over, but they sit 2 games back from the wild card. So much different than the National League than the American League records.
That's how it should look. That's what it should be. 7 games over 500 feels like fringe playoff competitor. So the National League standings, those are correct. The AL is all sorts of messed up.
And you're about buying Houston, even though they're currently they're tied with Texas.
No,
they're
I'm not
65 and 66, both of them.
No, they are the biggest example of the mediocrity in the AL this year. They have said this is not good enough for us. We've won world champions with you, Dana Brown, but we're firing you because of how bad we're doing, and they're still winning their division. They're still going to host a wild card series.
Did you know everybody in the division's at least 44 games negative run differential? 44, 46, 61, 70, and 187
and
of the A's.
People make fun of the AL Central, who has a Tigers team 8 games under with a plus 73 run differential. The AL West stinks.
Your reaction next. Get some interesting text on the text line 913-586-7965. You having fun with this? It is what it is. Do you want to see him lose out? I mean, don't forget there's a draft lottery at the end, so it doesn't matter. Tanking doesn't exactly help you at this point. Are you having fun with this? And you think pie in the sky, you think that the Royals are in for a Cleveland-type run last year. Do they have enough to do it? And we'll talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Fanatic Sportsbook makes every baseball game day this season hit harder. Swing for the fences with long ball jackpots. Just pick the player who hits the longest homer of the day to win a share of $50K in fan cash. Every day brings a new shot to win. Customers also get baseball profit boosts every game day. And your bets earn you fan cash, win or lose. Strike three, to spend on merch, tickets, exclusive experiences, and more. Go deep this baseball season and download Fanatic Sportsbook today for the best baseball betting experience each and every game day. Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MyReset. CT call 888-789-7777. MA call 800-327-5050. NY call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We're in the Midwest, where tornadoes are real and our water table is high. So we practically tap a well every time we dig a basement. As a plumber, I could tell you that water always wins. This month, we have a sump pump special. $200 off a main pump or $400 off a battery backup system. Protect your basement. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right. You pay what we pay on any in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory. Our certified techs will even mount and balance them for only $30 per tire. All that plus a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. Gas and grocery prices may be going up, but there's never been a better time to buy tires. Reserve yours now at TELLEtire.com before our sale ends. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to After Hours, bouncing back to the Kansas City Chiefs at 7 o'clock with Ron Kopp, the editor, arrowheadpride.com. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams with you. Shout out to Maloney. Shout out to Rob, who's always paying attention. Nathan and I are on. This is, will you be locked? Are you working this week? You doing any Royals games this week with Vern?
Yeah, I'm in this weekend, I think a couple days while they're in Cleveland. For sure.
Are you?
Yeah.
Cleveland?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
But, it's fun. And, hearing Vern talking about it and stuff. I mean, here's the thing. He watches the Royals every day. inside and out. Now, do they have what it takes to make that run? Do they have what it takes to win 25 out of 30 games? I mean, that's the biggest question there. They're poised. They're 22 games under 500 on the road. Again, a much different team on the road than a Kauffman Stadium. For some reason, they just can't find a way to win it. It has been fun watching some of these guys. And to be honest with you, Massey, I think, gets the Chris Bubich Award from last year, which Chris had it for half the season when he made the All-Star game. But then he got hurt again, and he's hurt now. He's with the Dodgers, of course, going to be on a rehab start here soon. But Massey has actually played really good. I started to talk to people about him like around June and things like that. Like, hey, man, this Massey, he's really doing well. Remember the Noah Cameron almost no-hitter? Guess who it was that made that play that you need for no-hitters?
That's right.
It was Massey at second base making that play. And you're like, did you think about that at all? Like, all right, there's the play they need. Like, there's the magical defensive play that you need for a no-hitter, because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Every time you're past the fifth inning and there's a no-no and someone makes a good play, that's exactly where my mind goes, exactly where it goes. Yeah, look, Michael Massey has been the player that the organization has believed he could be this entire time. And really, in addition to just experience, it's come with health more than anything. And so I think Michael Massey's fantastic. I would love to pencil him in as a second baseman of the future, maybe with Lofton rotating in there against lefties, or Lofton playing a little first, left, a little Ben Zobrist action off the bench there for Lofton. I do think the other shoe is going to drop with that back for Michael Massey. I think he should have been moved at the deadline. I think that's where I disagree with you, Vern, a lot of other guys here at the station.
Well, I still don't know what they're going to do at second.
I think he should have been moved. Well, I understand that.
Then that's a hole they need to fill, and they need other positions.
I think you sell high on a guy that for the first time in his career has been healthy.
You're right, because you can't bank. That's one thing about the Royals is you can't bank on it, because they're like the 49ers with all their injuries that they have. It's almost like a power plant that's out near them. Do you know Bobby Witt Jr. leads the team with a 287 average? Tolbert's in there at 286, but he's only had 105 plate appearances. Jack has a 276 average, right? Mm-hmm. Then there's Michael Massey right there at 275.
Yeah.
Like, he is quietly really playing well for the Kansas City Royals.
And he's a stud defensively. You mentioned it in that Cameron play, but over the weekend made a couple of good plays as well. Up the middle, Bobby and Massey, that'll give you some confidence for years to come.
If he stays healthy.
But yes, that's my big question mark with a guy like Massey.
That's really with any of them. Well, Bobby usually does, except this year he had to go on the IL for just a little bit.
Vinny's had him stack up.
Vinny, but this is becoming a regular thing where you're wondering when it's going to be that time for Vinny.
Massey's is the same.
And Garcia's
had 4 IL stints.
Been really weird because he can't stay off the IL.
Yeah, if Michael were to have hamstring problems next year, I'd be in the same boat with him as I am with Massey currently. I would feel the same way.
So, the injuries are concerning because they do happen. They happen a lot. That's why the team on paper is going to be different than the team you see in late June or early July.
And it's why you need...
Like, who's going to get hurt, especially from the pitching staff? Like, who's
remember
going to
before this season, we were talking about the starting 5 rotation. We were talking about Avila and Berger and Kolek and Kudrna. Oh, my God, even Bailey Falter. This team's got 10, 11 starting pitchers that you like.
Yeah.
We're down to 3.
Yeah,
down to 3. And Seth Lugo, you're not as confident as you were last year or the year before in him. He is waning. He's still an adequate middle-of-the-rotation pitcher, don't get me wrong, innings eater, all those things, but he's not what he was. And you started with 10 guys, 11 guys that you thought could be a 5-starter somewhere else, maybe. Maybe not Bailey Falter, but the rest of those guys could have competed for a spot somewhere else, and look at how many you lost. So good luck this offseason replenishing that, because you got to have a dozen starting pitchers to make it through a season.
The reality is, yes, they need to make wholesale changes with this roster, which you're not going to see a lot as far as the bats are concerned, and other ways too. This organization needs a revamp, to be quite honest with you, because what they're doing now, in reality, what they're doing now doesn't matter. Do it earlier. Why wasn't this stuff done in June? Why wasn't this stuff done in May? Why wasn't this type of baseball played earlier on? Why is it, the catalyst now, the Angels and the Athletics? Why was that the catalyst to get this thing started? Too little, too late, as far as that's concerned? Or do you just want to have fun with it and realize all these things? Because that's where I'm at. I realize all these things. There need to be changes. I'm tired of, too much, too late with the Kansas City Royals. But I'm still going to have fun with it. I'm still going to have fun with the Royals on every single night. That is still going to be, part of the equation, because I am enjoying this streak.
Heck yeah. I sound like
I always will.
I sound like a hater, but if they were 55 and 77, I feel the same way about their future as I do now.
But you get the big picture.
For right now, I'm having fun with them winning. I'd rather watch them win than watch them lose. No question about it. And like I said, it's not the NFL. You don't get bonus points for losing to trade up for your quarterback at number 1. They're going to pick in the same area as they would if they would have lost.
And the first 6 picks are different with the lottery, and then
Yeah.
from 6 to the rest of the teams that missed the playoffs in the lottery as well. But to get a top 6 pick, that's cool. But it's fun.
With how far off prospects are, I don't think it matters that much at all. I really don't.
No one cares. No one cares. Just enjoy. If you enjoy watching the Royals and you're deep down rooting for it, and you're rooting for the Royals to get to 25 wins out of the 30, go for it and have fun with that. That's what I'm doing. But the realistic side says, it's going to be too much, too late to come back for the Kansas City Royals. But still have fun while it lasts. 100% have fun with this, especially 2 weeks before the Chiefs start. I mean, why not? And even when the Chiefs start, why not want to have fun with that? Speaking of the Chiefs, Ron Kopp, editor-in-chief, Arrowhead Pride, on Game 2 in the preseason. He joins me next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
That'll be 84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey.
Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay?
I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code WINNER to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code WINNER to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code WINNER.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
College football is back, and so are the prediction. Who makes the playoffs? Who wins their conference? Who takes home the national title? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, lets you trade the predictions in a live market. Maybe you think MU is going to get the job done. A $100 trade over there to make the playoffs would see $542 because it's trading at about 17% right now. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $20 when you trade $20. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event.
Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months.
And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
VIN number 4S4SLD L61T3038472. Based on 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
You work hard, you pay your bills, but with credit cards, higher gas and grocery prices, you're making the payments, but not getting ahead. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Golden Oak can help you refinance, consolidate bills, and free up monthly cash flow. Call today for a free mortgage checkup. There's never a charge to talk with us.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. Call 913-890-GOAL.
Futures Week starts August 31st on 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back, 7 o'clock hour, after hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams with you. Don't forget our text line, 913-586-7965. Joining us now, the editor-in-chief of ArrowheadPride.com, a guy that did not miss one practice up in St. Joe, and now he can chill out just a little bit. Ron Kopp. What's up, Ron?
Yeah, it does feel good to be out of camp, right? But still, there's still so much more time left until week 1, so that's the only annoying part about it, but we're getting close. It's week 0, so we're in football season.
Yeah, it's week 0. We had some high school football on this past weekend. That's always fun when they do the showcase games when teams play each other from different states or previous national champions like Buford. It was on the other day. But yes, week 0 this weekend. Friday night, you have the Kansas City Chiefs in Game 3. Game 3 of preseason. That's a snoozer for the hardcore because that is evaluation time. Who's going to be still on the roster or who's going to be cut? Because this weekend is going to be full of cuts because it's going to be because the cut down date is the 30th, but a lot of times they're done a little bit earlier, and especially for the guys that want to go back and play college, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. But no, it is weird this year. They all of a sudden moved it up. The cut down day is on Sunday. Which they play on Friday. So that gives the front office, after that game, they're going to be, probably not sleeping much until that cut down date or deadline on Sunday.
You'll see them trickling out.
Yeah, it's usually on Tuesday, right? So, I mean, it's just kind of weird how it's tighter that way. And
they already cut Caldwell today. They cut the Camp Darling, Jeff Caldwell, today for an injury designation.
Yeah, if he gets unclaimed, it's probably, he'll be probably on that reserve injured list for the season, and We'll hype up the train next offseason, next training camp. But yeah, no, I mean, we're probably not going to see Mahomes. I don't know for sure. Obviously, Andy Reid wasn't ready to say for sure, but he wants to be out there, and I'd kind of like to see him get some kind of live reps before week 1 gets here. But with the offensive line a little banged up, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing Mahomes play on Friday, but I would like to see him get some live reps. I know he would want to for sure.
The one thing about it is, as far as seeing these guys, and it's kind of gone, and I've been talking about this last couple of weeks, these scrimmages these teams have with other teams, because 28 teams in the NFL scrimmage other teams where they bring the teams in. They usually practice a couple days with them. Then they play a preseason game with them, but they bring them in earlier to scrimmage. That's where a lot of the veteran players play. So a lot of times people are like, man, this is a record number of guys sitting out. There's so many guys sitting out. Well, that's a big reason why, because, and I know they've done this thing for years where teams have done it, but literally it's 28 out of 38 teams doing it now, and 15 teams do it multiple times. So that's why you're seeing limited preseason snaps, because the guys are getting it in through practice and scrimmage situations. Would you like to see the Chiefs go back to this? Because they've done this in the past many, many times. I mean, you see this up in Minnesota in the Cheese League. They've done it at St. Joe even. They brought the Cardinals in when Haley was still when he was coaching the Kansas City Chiefs. So they have done it before. Would you rather see that, or would you rather just say, hey, let's wait till preseason? But the problem is these guys don't get snaps in the preseason. They get a few.
Yeah, well, this year was kind of, week 2 is kind of the sweet spot now to get the reps, right? And they had their chance. I feel like Tampa Bay gave them an opportunity to play starters this last week, right? Like Tampa Bay was playing their starters for a couple drives, both sides of the ball, it seemed like. And so the Chiefs were just banged up, man. If they were a little more, if like Mahomes obviously wasn't dealing with what he was dealing with, and obviously the offensive line wasn't injured, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy didn't take the field. Like, yeah, they had a chance to kind of see what they had against this Tampa Bay defense that had some guys up front, obviously. Khalil Benson learned that with Ruben Bain showing him something. But, no, I like Andy Reid's philosophy, honestly. I mean, you've seen all these freaking training camp fights with, it was the Cowboys and the Saints that got into it. You've seen all those, and I think Andy Reid knows he likes to avoid that. And I think the injury – injury luck this year kind of took him out of getting that true dress rehearsal in week 2 when they really could have. The Bucs were playing their starters for a couple drives.
So what did you think of the right side of the line? Where do the Chiefs sit right now with this offensive line? Are they going to be able to play good enough to where they can facilitate this offense? where Kenneth Walker still gets his yards with that line, where Patrick Mahomes still has time to throw without hurrying it, and they can run their offense like they do? Or what have you seen between Jalen Moore and Khalil Benson? It's obviously, been one of the position battles, if you want to call that. If you think Jalen Moore is in the lead, he probably is at this point. There's no question about it. He'll probably be your opening day starter at right tackle. But let's face it, 17 of 18 practices, Khalil Benson ran with the ones.
Yeah, I know. And there's a lot of other positions where you can have guys, getting reps and seeing what they got. But, man, on the offensive line, you want to get that continuity. It's not like Trey Smith and Jalen Moore have a ton of continuity, together on that right side over the short time they played together. Yeah, no, it is interesting. And I think week 2, I think they've just been waiting for the opportunity to see Benson live action at right tackle. They didn't even try it week 1, which was kind of interesting. Because then you go a whole nother week with him in the starting lineup in practice. And yeah, I think he kind of proved week 2 that he's probably not ready to start on the right side of the offensive line. And I think it just tells you that this whole offseason has really been about, hey, can we find someone else to start at right tackle besides Jalen Moore, which is not a good thing. It's an indictment on the veteran, obviously, trying to just find any way to start someone else. But it does seem like he should be, he's the veteran. He is a pass blocker. He's more of a pass blocker than a run blocker. And that's the thing with Benson, man, is you see him flyer off the ball on run plays. I mean, he blew up a DB on one toss right. He's the dominant traits that you've heard Andy Heck talk about, at times, are in the run game. But then you also heard Andy Reid actually talk today about Khalil Benson saying, that was the first time he's heard a silent count, I guess, or the first
that
time
kind of
he
threw me off
it.
a little bit too when I heard that the silent count, because and that goes back to the Bain play, because he was late coming off the snap. Was he looking down the line? He wasn't used to the silent count. I would think they would have worked on that a little bit through training camp to this point before just going and doing. Know that it might have to do it at some point when you're on the road for that, because it's the one preseason road game. It was this past weekend.
Yeah, no, it's probably something maybe you kind of you don't think about as much. But I do think it's interesting, you hear Andy talk about it. It's almost like he was kind of, defending his rookie a little bit and just being like, hey, look, first action, those couple lifts, those were the only 2 pressures he gave up over, I believe, 20-plus pass blocking opportunities. Or no, I want to say maybe a 15 or 16, according to PFF. But they were pretty horrendous, right? Obviously, the Justin Fields strip that he picked up and ran with good awareness on that. But yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing about it, I will say, is it did sound like Andy was kind of saying, hey guys, like, take it easy on him. It was a silent count. It almost sounded like he's ready to keep starting him, potentially, right? Like, hey guys, don't worry. It was just one game, that kind of vibe to his speak, which, I don't know. You can't have Mahomes back there with Nick Bonito, who primarily, if I remember correctly, rushes over the right tackle. You got to think about that week 1, week 2. The Colts have some edge rushers. I mean, we talked about it, Jay. I mean, they've done it with Kingsley Suamataia just 2 years ago, but I think Kingsley looked a little better at this stage of the game than, and he was a second-round pick, compared to Benson. So I would like to see Jalen Moore at right tackle week 1, if you're asking me.
Well, he played high-quality football because he was playing for Indiana, the national champions, but he was in a rotation there. He did struggle with the speed rushers at times, speed edge rushers. That's one of those things he's got to work on and get better. All right, what about the receivers? What'd you think of Jalen Royals? You buying anything into him actually producing in this preseason, or he's going to go back to kind of disappearing act like last year? You buying into the 6 for 51 he had this year, thinking, all right, because speed probably not his game. It's more that lower body strength when it comes to Jalen Royals. Can they depend on Jalen Royals to possibly be the number 4 wide receiver?
Yeah, I think he showed kind of what his value is to the offense, where, the Andy Reid offense or the Chiefs offense, a lot of times the receivers are getting the ball in space, right? And if it seems like if you get the ball to him in space, where he doesn't have someone tackling him immediately as he's catching the ball, he has a way about him where he's not easy to tackle. PFF had him with 5 forced missed tackles over 6 catches. And yeah, I mean, even kind of some of the more he had that 17-yard gain that was just where he actually came back to the ball pretty nice over the middle. Great play by Garrett Nussmeier too. But it just seems like, he's someone that maybe, you can just get the ball in his hands and feel like, hey, this guy can get the most out of the play. And that's valuable. I mean, to be honest with you, it does feel like the floor of the receiving room, again, this receiving room is so fragile at the top, right? Rice, Worthy, even Thornton is someone who hasn't proven to be a complete full, every down starter, in the NFL. We're hoping he turns into that this year after being a downfield threat last year. But it does feel like the floor of the receiving group, if the fragility, if we do get Rice and Worthy kind of, maybe working through injuries at all at any point this year, I like Allen, I like Royals and Armstrong. I hope he makes the roster. I think he's giving them a little something at the receiver position that someone like Nico Remigio isn't. And so, I think the floor of the receiving room with second-year Royals, with the rookie Cyrus Allen, I mean, there's some guys here that, if they do have to step up and play a bigger role, they're showing what they can do. Again, Cyrus looks like kind of the route runner, kind of the get open. The Royals might just be kind of that guy that, if he does have to step up and get the ball in his hands, at least he's going to make it hard on the defenders to tackle him and fight hard on, slant patterns, right? And all those routes they like to do to get the ball in the receiver's hands getting into space.
Talking to Ron Kopp, arrowheadpride.com. Yeah, we saw Cyrus actually in a return game as well as a returner for a snap. And then also we saw him on the jet sweep as well. So they're doing different things with Cyrus Allen. What do you make of the Justin Fields situation? I know a lot of people are really liking what they're seeing from Garrett Nussmeier. But Andy Reid, man, he is huge on that trust factor. Hey, both those quarterbacks had to run for their lives at times. Also, the penalties, 20 penalties the Chiefs have in the first two games. Not helpful, and the offensive line's having a lot of them as well. But just your kind of breakdown of Nussmeier v. Fields.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, Nussmeier has proved enough where you have to plan on keeping three quarterbacks. I don't think it's a competition between Fields or Nussmeier. I think it's just not smart to cut one or the other. In this case of, okay, the rookie beat out Fields. Well, now you have a rookie, a guy who is flashing in preseason games.
He won't do that. He won't do that.
Against second, third string defenses. I mean, that's the thing. Nussmeier has been flashing, but he hasn't been, Justin Fields has been playing against, again, like the Tampa defense was a starting defense with a banged up offensive line in front of him. And he had a good stretch on that drive where Butker ended with the field goal. He had a good few plays. I think the huge thing, the big thing here is really just like Fields being a veteran. He has started a lot of games. He started 30-plus games in the NFL. Obviously, Andy Reid values that, but it's the athleticism too, Jay. Like, if the Chiefs do have to go a half, go just a short stretch, go a whole, maybe even just a game without Mahomes, you just trust that Fields, his athleticism, with Andy Reid kind of maybe, cooking it up, right? With the run game being a bigger part of the offense this year. We've already seen Mahomes running speed options in camp. Like, there's things they can do with Justin Fields' athleticism to kind of, and again, if the defense is playing well, you play into that, it's all of that. The offensive line, you play into them, kind of captaining the way. You don't play the same offense if Justin Fields is in there, but I do think he still gives you a better chance to win a one-off than a rookie quarterback who, again, he's flashed, but we still haven't seen it against starting defenses, against a starting pass rush, and there's a lot to the quarterback position than just throwing on time and with anticipation, which he does very well and probably better than Fields does at this point, to be honest with you.
All right, the Chiefs defense, Jake Browning, man, they teed off on him. He's probably sore after that game because all 3 sacks came against him. Felix lit him up with a form tackle. It was an incredible sack that he had on him. Jaden Hicks got him right before he was able to throw the football. And but just R. Mason Thomas, because to me, he kind of subscribes to what Spags wants. Arms always up. Arms always up, tipping passes because good things happen when that does. He seems like a guy that's going to be around the football a lot, R. Mason Thomas. He did have that 71-yard fumble return when he was at Oklahoma, hurt his quad on the play. But again, he's always around the ball. And I can see a situation where he tips the ball up in the air and he intercepts it himself. He's an incredible athlete, and he was on full display once again in game 2.
Yeah, no, with R. Mason Thomas, I think the key thing that I've been impressed with this preseason is it just seems like he is playing without thinking, like already as a rookie. Like he is fast off the ball, but it's more than just being fast off the ball. He's fast processing off the ball too. I feel like you've seen it against the run, especially that first game. I feel like there were a couple snaps where he's locating that ball as he's shedding a block, he's getting himself in position, and this is all just snap stuff. Like, this is not stuff you have really time to think about. And I think when you compare it to, like, you watch Felix, try to develop over the years, I think you can tell he's maybe thinking more. It's a difference, right? Like, you see players are thinking more. Mason Thomas just seems to be playing so comfortably already, firing off the ball, and to your point, having the hands up, it's his head up too, it's his eyes up too, right? I think that's the key thing I've seen is he just really seems to be flying off the ball, maintaining that electric speed while just playing aware, right? Like, with awareness, whether it's when he's getting into the back of the pocket, reaching that arm in and trying to disrupt the quarterback, instead of just flying by, he just has he's got his eyes on the ball. So I totally agree with you. I think he's going to be someone that's going to be around the ball plenty this year. And the thing is, it seems like in Tampa, he only pass rushed 15 snaps, 15 pass rushes. You'd like to see that continue because I think that's his money play, and keep him fresh for the fourth quarter and stuff when he can really tee off against tired offensive tackles.
Ron, I looked at your 53-man roster projection to this point. You did have 4 tight ends on there, right? You still pretty firm on the 4 tight ends the Chiefs will keep?
I'm not firm on it, that's for sure, but I do think Brenningstool's earned a spot, and I don't see them cutting one of the other guys. So, yeah, I feel like it's going to be 4 tight ends. I know Noah Gray would be the one, right? I mean,
or Wiley. I mean, I think Noah Gray's on the team because of everything with knowing the offense.
Here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing, and I'll shout out Jared Sapp from AP. He pointed this out to me. It's interesting that Noah Gray hasn't played really at all in the preseason. He's played like 7 snaps total, and is that thinking about anything towards like not wanting him to get injured so they can kind of, get through this and cut him clean? Because what would be the point of him not playing? I would guess you just know what you have with him. No, it's interesting. I don't really like keeping 4 tight ends because you don't really like what you got with anyone behind Travis Kelce, and I think each has shown some flashes of stuff, but we want guys that, you want a blocking first tight end that can really be in the mix here, and there's just not one of them. So I don't really love keeping the 4 tight ends, but I do feel like Brenningstool is going to be a hard cut.
Yeah, next year when the replacing Kelce, I mean, it's going to be by committee. It's going to be several tight ends to try to fill that role.
Yeah, you have to think about the future, right? And like Brenningstool is just someone I would be excited about the future. And so if I don't know. Yeah, it is an interesting one. I was going 3 tight ends for most of the offseason or preseason. So I don't know. You could see that surprise cut in that room.
And you had 4 running backs, didn't you? You had Bouchard making the team, obviously, with DeMarcado, Emmett Johnson, and Kenneth Walker as well.
Yeah, I just don't see them shaking that up. I think they just have a solid foursome that they can just roll into the season with. And you might see the totem pole change a little bit on that, on who's getting plays, maybe even depending on the matchup. But I like that little foursome for the season. I don't see them shaking that up.
Good stuff. Ron Kopp, editor-in-chief, arrowheadpride.com. What you working on this week, Ron?
Well, shoot, they're back at regular practice, so we're getting the regular press conferences. We'll be writing those up, getting ready for Friday night. Then we got our 5 things to watch. We got it all. Just we got all the Chiefs coverage you need, arrowheadpride.com.
Good stuff, Ron. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you. Ron Kopp, Arrowhead Pride, editor-in-chief there. Anything stand out to you there that you disagreed with the we'll get to it in the next segment, but 4 tight ends, 4 running backs? Because I'm kind of leaning that way with Ron, too.
I think so. 4-4, 6 receivers. I would say so.
4-4,
You don't think it's going to be? I mean, if they were to do 4 of each and a 7th receiver, that would feel heavy. But obviously, the back half of that room is not beating the door down by any means.
Well, there's something else that stood out in that game by a particular awesome play. Definitely want to talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you are a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone at 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
A dark night, a quiet suburb. But for one family, danger lurks just downstairs.
Oh, no. That's just my husband getting a midnight snack.
Guilty. But
We have Xfinity Shield. It has a built-in Wi-Fi feature that detects movement without cameras.
well, what they didn't know is that an even bigger threat lurks online. A hacker.
Actually, Xfinity CyberSecure protects our connected devices, too.
Okay, fine. But what they didn't see coming
Is that these features are included with our Wi-Fi? We did. Kind of the whole point.
well, this one's not getting a sequel.
What if protecting your home and devices could be drama-free? Introducing Xfinity Shield with Wi-Fi features designed to give you peace of mind. Visit xfinity.com/shield to learn more. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Xfinity Internet and compatible equipment required.
Hi, I'm Danny Gravatt. For over 65 years, my family has kept Kansas City comfortable. At Ready Services, we guarantee expert service in HVAC, honest repairs, never high-pressure sales, get the job done right the first time without the headaches. Visit ReadyServices.com today.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
And welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams with you. The Royals in Toronto starting tomorrow night. Well, Nathan, we did have this play on Saturday night that was a lot of fun.
How about a 69-yard field goal try with 3 seconds to go in the second quarter? Trying to beat that kid from Jacksonville. The kick is up, and the kick is going to be a lot of distance. He got it! A 69-yard field goal by Harrison Butker!
And, of course, there was the extra point miss and the field goal miss that was there as well. But I will say this. That range, I mean, dude looks healthy. I mean, the plant leg and everything else. Seeing that field goal, when they lined up for that, it's like, look how far back they are for this. I mean, it just shows you at the end of the game, hey, Mahomes get his 15 yards or 10 yards, and then Butker will come out there and do it. Because that thing was going to be good for 75 because it hit the net. You rarely see something like that hit the net. Now, the record, I know there's a lot of different talk about the record and whatever. That would have been an NFL record during the regular season because 68 yards is the record by Cam Little of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so it would have been an NFL record for a regular season game. However, damn Cam Little had a 70-yarder in the preseason last year as well. So he has still – so the Butker one's kind of sandwiched there in between the preseason and regular season, but it would have been an NFL record. But Cam Little did have that 70-yarder in preseason, or that would have just been the longest field goal in NFL history. Regardless, it would have been good from 75. Like if they would have lined up for a 75-yard field goal, he's probably good. I loved seeing that kind of stuff from Butker. It's great to see that range. You want to know what his range is, Coach Reed? There's his range. I wouldn't do it all the time, but you know what I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, especially at the end of the half, end of a game, things like that. I don't know. I think we've over the last couple of years known that his range has expanded. When was it? Was it the COVID Justin Herbert game where Tyrod Taylor's lung was punctured? It might have been that game, but they were at SoFi when he hit a 59-yarder that was called back for a penalty and then hit the 59-yarder again. That at the time was amazing. And then his range has been slowly expanding ever since then. So I'm not overly shocked because of the range. I think the most encouraging thing for Butker for me is him not dropping to that plant leg after the kicks. Now, he was inconsistent, you're right, the rest of Saturday night. But the fact that he appears to be healthy gives me more confidence going into this season that those accuracy issues won't linger. Because last year it was a fall-off, a significant fall-off for Butker and his accuracy.
It was. Did it give you confidence at all, though? Because it did me a little bit. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, knowing the range is still there, seeing that the health appears to be there, I feel better about Butker at this time than I did at the end of last season or in the middle of last season. 100%.
Remember, it was Matthew Wright a couple years ago. Remember when he filled in for Butker when he got hurt, kicked that 59-yarder?
I don't remember him kicking a 59-yarder. Wow.
Butker had a 58-yarder. Nick Lowry had a 50-yarder, but then the Matthew Wright hit that 59-yarder.
Who else filled in for Butker? There was one other guy that they were, Matthew Wright, because he was the one they got and then cut, and like 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah, they had several guys fill in for him that year, but that 69-yarder, his franchise record was 62 yards, I believe. And he had that 57-yarder in the Super Bowl. Remember that one? His previous high was 58, and he had a 57 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a record.
It was a record for longest field goal.
69 is very, and no pun intended, is very nice. Like, I'm not trying to be like, I expect him to hit a 69-yarder. That's incredible. It would be an NFL record. I just Harrison Butker's got a big leg. It'd be great if it was accurate as well this year. And with the health, I feel like it's got a good chance to be there this year, accuracy-wise. I'm excited.
But he did hit a 62-yarder once. He did do that. So that was he's got the range. I mean, definitely showed his range off to that point. Anything else with
Spencer Schrader? Spencer Schrader was the other kicker that year.
They had, but I remember right, Matthew Wright, because he bounced around several times with the Chiefs that year. But I was glad to see that kick by Butker. It was one of those things. It would have been great having him just finish up with not missing a kick. Like, that would have been great. But, again, I don't think they have those 3 rings with Mahomes if they don't have Butker on the team. Because he made some very clutch kicks throughout that stretch.
100%. Nor do they go to the other 2 Super Bowls without him, most likely. Harrison Butker, based on his playoff moments alone, should be an NFL Hall of Famer. Oh, the text line brought up Matt Amendola has also subbed in for Butker in the last few years. That's true. I was thinking of Schrader because he hit that walk-off against the Panthers a few seasons back in Carolina. No, but I mean, just thinking about, he set the Super Bowl record. He has hit game-tying and go-ahead field goals at the end of regulation multiple times in the AFC Championship game, in the bad weather, in inclements. He's done it in the Super Bowl multiple times. He has been as clutch as any kicker in the history of the sport in the big moment. And in my opinion, is an NFL Hall of Famer.
He's had some amazing kicks, but that 69-yarder is like, whoa, that thing hit the freaking net, man. I mean, that was honestly good to see. I know there's a miss, extra point and field goal later, but it's going to come down to that, man.
You're right. That would have been good from like 72, 73 probably.
I don't know. It might have been 75, dude. I mean, that's what they were guessing. I mean, that's
insane.
It was insanity.
That's insane.
It was insanity that kicked it. And that's a weapon, man. You get towards the end of the game, it's going to be a crucial game at some point, and they're going to get the kick return, and they'll say, Mahomes, you just need 15 yards here. 10 yards, boom, completes the pass, and boom, Harrison Butker comes out there because you know what his range is now.
My God, if he did that in the 13-second game, Josh Allen would have got another chance at the end of regulation. The Chiefs wouldn't have had to run 2 plays there. They would have only had to run 1.
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. Coming up next, though, there's something I don't want to see with the Kansas City Chiefs because I have it in phases. Talked about it last Friday on the drive that 3 phases of the Kansas City Chiefs because I don't think this team is completely built yet. They definitely worked on the defense, that's for sure, through the draft, but it's not completed yet. And how will they complete it? We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical, regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's. All summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale of the year is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right. You pay what we pay, plus mounting and balancing for only $30 per tire. Reserve yours at TELLEtire.com. Take care of your car, take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins AeroBurst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of AeroBurst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Yeah, that was back in 2022. That's how time flies. That's when Matthew Wright kicked a 59-yarder. Then Harrison Butker, like a couple weeks later, kicked a 62. Because that was the franchise record, 59. Then he got a 62. Text was asking who doinked the one. Matthew Wright hit a doinker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, both in 2024, Matthew Wright came back and played for the Chiefs. He was there for 2 games in 22. came back in 24. But
Yes.
Spencer Schrader was the one that hit that one in Carolina for that 30-27 win over the
Yes.
Panthers in 24.
I looked it up. So both times Butker has missed time, there's been 2 kickers in his absence. In 2022, it was Amendola and Wright. 2024, it was Wright again and Schrader. So, yeah, Wright did hit the 59-yarder. He also hit the doink for the division, as Mike Tirico called it 2 years later, whereas Schrader hit the walk-off against the Panthers. Yeah, Butker's the
Wright's
most
doink
accomplished
was against,
playoff
the
kicker
Chargers, you said?
in recent times. Yeah, it was on Sunday night for the Chiefs to clinch the division 2 years ago.
Yeah, so those Chargers doink were Matthew Wright. But he's had some guys fill in from time to time. So I've got 3 phases, Nathan. This is what I brought up last week. I'm sticking with this. This year, you don't feel this team is complete, do you? Or do you feel it's complete? Because I don't look at it as complete.
No, I certainly don't.
But phase 1 to me was several things. It was coaching changes with O'Shea coming in at wide receivers and DeMarco Murray at running backs, and then drafting in the defense with Peter Woods and Armacy Thomas, Mansour Lane, Jaden Kennedy having some fixtures for the defense. And not really going wild on offense. Just Cyrus Allen, a 5th round, that's your wide receiver. Wasn't free agent wide receivers. It was a 5th round wide receiver. The year before was only Jalen Royals. So I feel that that's phase 1. Is that fair? That it's not complete until you have something. Because this team that's put out there now isn't the complete Chiefs team that I think that they want for the future.
If you're talking about phases of turning this roster over, keeping it competitive.
And obviously, the running game, too, is a big part of this one.
Phase 1 for me would be similar to your phase 1. That would be coaching changes and then just a little bit of turnover, an injection of youth, getting rid of the Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Derek Nottie, Mike Pennells, not just the old guard, but like the retirement home guard, getting them out of there, getting some young blood in there on the defensive side of the ball. And I would consider that complete or nearly complete. Yes, I'd be with you on that. It would be phase 1. Sure.
Phase 2 to me begins at the draft in 2027 because offensive skill positions need a lift because, and I get it, it's preseason and, they struggled to score a touchdown in game 1. One was called back from him. They finally get a touchdown there in game 2. But remember, this preseason was all about Butker's field goals. Like he was the only one to score. He was the first 19 points scored for the Chiefs was Butker because they weren't getting in the end zone. I know it's the preseason, but you didn't see any sink. You didn't really see any sync with the offense. You didn't see those explosive plays through the passing game. It was like they had to really work for the passing yards to get going there. And again, it's preseason, so we'll see what happens in the regular season because it could be completely different because preseason is one of the biggest liars you can have in professional football. We'll see what happens. But I do believe phase 2 is the movement for the wide receivers, bringing in strength there, tight ends, more skill positions. You already worked on getting skill positions at the running game. You're going to have Kenneth Walker back. You're going to have Emma Johnson back. You're going to have those guys back. But it's adding to the playmakers for Patrick Mahomes with the wide receivers being able to extend that field. But I do not feel they're complete. I feel that phase 1 was done. Phase 3 is something I don't want to see, but we might see it.
Uh-oh.
In phase 3 is the offensive line. Because that's the worst thing. Because obviously, right tackle now, if Khalil Benson works out for the future, and that's your future at right tackle because he works out and maybe things turn around for him. Maybe we see that Khalil Benson, the Chiefs have seen with him in the OTAs and through training camp. But if he's your answer right tackle for future, like 2-3 years out, he's still your right tackle. It's a stalwart. So every year you go into training camp, you know exactly who your offensive line is. There's not this, we have an undrafted free agent, Khalil Benson, challenging this veteran and Jalen Moore to see he's going to start at right tackle. You don't want to see it. Like, that is something you don't want to see at all. Kingsley, that's fine. Left guard is a fine place for him. He's found a spot. This is why Simmons has to work out at left tackle. Because if he does, you're set at left tackle going forward. If it works out, that'd be great. Like, that's why Simmons one of the keys to me for the Chiefs going into the 26th season. That you got your left tackle, you got your book in there, a real stalwart for Patrick Mahomes, protecting him. You get that 50-year option on a first-round pick, like Simmons is. Like, that's the way it's ultimately important. But you don't want to see him going back to the well on the offensive line. Not only is it expensive to go out and get offensive linemen to buy, but also the Chiefs have spent high draft capital the last couple of years on the offensive line. 2 years ago, it was going out and getting Kingsley Suamatia to be your left tackle. That didn't work out. He was quickly bounced from the left tackle position early in the season. And then last year, they went back in the first round and got Simmons to be your left tackle. This year, there was all that talk about the Chiefs possibly look at a tackle, and they said it was a smoke screen, stuff like that. It's weird when you look back at it. Like, how much of a smoke screen do you really think it was? Now, they claim it was. But isn't there a need? I mean, isn't there a need at right tackle? Because right now, you had a undrafted free agent battling for your right tackle spot. I mean, he's still battling. It's probably going to be Jalen Moore at this point. But he still could have taken over the job. That was still a need to me. I'm not buying they weren't interested in drafting a tackle. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, you do need to solve, especially on that right side. Now, I'm not considering the offensive line part of the retooling. I think that could be something that develops. As of right now, I'm considering left tackle through right guard. Those 4 positions locked into place for the next 2 seasons, because then there will be a decision on Kingsley in 2 years from now. My 3 phases would have been, 1, the one that I consider complete, new coaching and infusion of youth. That was complete this offseason. And then 2 and 3 were the rebuild of the D-line and the rebuild of the wide receiver room. And to me, the Chiefs threw more darts at the D-line this offseason using multiple high draft picks, bringing in a free agent and Kyrie's Tonga in the middle there. Hopefully at the end of this season, we're feeling better about phase 2 of that. Hopefully at the end of the season, either our Mason Thomas or Peter Woods or both, we're looking at saying can be the one with Karlaftis as their 1A in the future of this pass rush after Chris Jones. I'm hopeful that at the end of this year, that is what we're looking at.
But
phase 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the wide receiver room.
That has to be
zero
addressed
confidence
in
in next year. That is going to be a complete. Think about 2021 and the O-line rebuild. That's what it's going to look like at the wide receiver room next year. I'm talking they could draft somebody in the first. They could trade a second or a third for Brian Thomas Jr. or someone like that. And they could sign a free agent, depending on Cyrus Allen, maybe taking one of those spots.
With Brian Thomas.
But they could, I'm just saying, but whether it's him or someone else, they could make 2 or 3 significant moves in that room next offseason. I mean, that's how much work it's going to need, unless Xavier Worthy is just like a dude this year all of a sudden. With Kelsey retiring, Rice will be on his option the 5th-year option the year after that.
No, he didn't have a 5th-year option.
He doesn't?
No, because he's not a first-rounder.
I thought you could opt in under certain circumstances in or tag him.
This is it for. Well, yeah, he can be tagged, but this is it for him as far as his contract.
Sure, yeah, but my point is,
I don't
the
think
future of that room's not good.
Yeah,
and I'm not interested in having Rashee Rice here any longer than it needs to be. So, yeah, I think we're in agreement. The wide receiver room needs significant attention after this season, but we could be looking at the rest of this team, maybe outside of right tackle, feeling good about it going into 2027.
I hope so, but when you look, do you think they were that confident in right tackle though, as far as their depth and everything is concerned? I don't.
I'm
either.
with you. I don't
That's
think it was
why
much of a smoke
said,
screen.
"Oh, it's a complete smoke screen for the Chiefs," turned into a tackle. I'm not 100% sold on that.
I think it was a smokescreen because they had other more glaring needs.
Maybe at the early part of the first round, yes, but
edge was a bigger need, corner was a bigger need, but no, right tackle was.
They've got to get line help.
Need.
You had to get a quarterback coming off an ACL.
Yeah.
They've got to fix their offensive line, and now they're sitting here looking at revolving doors at right tackle. And I know Jalen Moore played better than Cole Benson, but that's not saying a hell of a lot.
Dude, if Moore and Benson and Pole and Godric are the guys, we could see. Remember 2 years ago, after Orlando Brown left, but before, the year that Kingsley was a rookie, when they rotated in Morris and they signed, what was that dude from the Cardinals, Humphreys, that played here a week or two? That just revolving door at left tackle. Get ready for that at right tackle this season, my man. Get ready for it.
So do you agree with me on Simmons? He might be one of the most important Kansas City Chiefs for the 26th season, honestly.
Oh, yeah. If it's disappointing injury-wise or play-wise, it becomes need number 1 with a bullet circled.
Like if he comes out and balls out, man, that's awesome for the Chiefs.
Right.
It's awesome for the future.
And on the flip side,
protecting Mahomes, doing great for the running game, protecting Mahomes in the passing game. Like Simmons working out and having a left tackle you can count on with availability every single game. But again, this back problem doesn't, I mean, who knows? It's probably just some rest for him or whatever. Willie Rofe was a guy that, barely practiced but he showed up and played on game day. But when you have a player that's missed 19 games in his last 2 seasons, that's a concern.
Yeah, I mean, if Simmons is healthy and is the player that I think he can be this year, man, you're feeling like give it 2 more years, then we're gonna sign him before he hits the tag, and give him 4 or 5 years at the end of the. I mean, you're looking at him as your left tackle for the next 10 years if he's healthy this year and plays adequately. On the flip side, though, if you're uncertain about him after this year, the O-line is, I mean, it might trump wide receiver in terms of importance going into next year. So I think you're right on the head with that. He is the most pivotal player for the future of this team in this season, is Josh Simmons. I would agree with that.
Yeah, because if he works out, that's great. You can mark left tackle, kind of off the draft board. But if it doesn't work out for you, you've got Mahomes in his 30s now. He's going to turn 31 here in about a month. And what are you going to do?
We'll talk about another position of need. Are you more confident in Simmons or Delane working out this season? Because that would be a huge one as well. If Delane stunk and you don't have a cornerback one for the future.
Yeah. Delane's a rookie. I don't know, man. I still have to go back to left tackle.
Yeah.
I think Simmons is the most important chief.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm with you.
I mean, obviously, Mahomes is the most important chief. Let's not get me wrong there. But going for the future, because if it doesn't work out and you're sitting here going, do we need to go spend money to get a left tackle, which Chiefs, we see what they don't like to go out and spend money on the corners and the wide receivers bringing in corner. That's why Tyreek Hill left, because he got that big contract once he went to Miami. Yeah. What are you going to do? Are you going to go out and spend the money
or trade up to at least the middle of the first round?
Or do an Orlando Brown type trade to bring in a left tackle for this team? But yeah, you'd have to get one in the first round. And you'd think first round, you would hope wide receiver, knock on wood, would be for the Chiefs in 2027. So you hope left tackle's not sitting there with wide receivers and tight ends.
Boy.
That's a necessity for the Chiefs next year. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to see phase 3. Like, I don't want to see phase 3 because it's going to be costly and it's also going to cost you in the
Makes
draft.
Sense. So 5 months from now, we're either hitting the panic button or you've got your guy for a decade on the left side.
Phase 3 is what I don't want to see. I don't want to see this rebuilt offensive line. We've seen it before. It worked out before. Worked out after that Buccaneers Super Bowl.
They don't have the resources to do it next offseason with the need at wide receiver, at tight end, possibly at edge. Yeah, they need Simmons to be a guy.
They're going to have to make a trade because you see that, Keenan Allen signed as a free agent with the Colts. Booty was traded today to the Houston Texans. You saw Stephon Diggs, signing off. The Chiefs didn't have that money to go sign. I mean, it's probably going to have to be through trade. It'll probably have to be through trade that they get a wide receiver because you don't want to pay the Alec Pierce money of $29 million, who's still had that surgery this offseason. We'll see what he can do with 52 catches, the most he's ever got. The price of number one receivers is astronomical.
Guy's never had. He averages 750 yards a season. Average 750.
That's why they brought in
$30 million a year. Oh my goodness.
I wanted Keenan not this year, but last year. I mean, I would have taken him this year. I'm not going to say no to any kind of pass.
I would have taken him on this year's squad for sure.
But he's still on the PUP list, I think, right now. Alec Pierce is.
Man,
that's what he spent 29. He would have gotten more money in the open market.
That's such a bad contract.
Anyway,
just a mid off at Colts receiver, trading Michael Pittman, signing Alec Pierce, just a whole bunch of mid.
All right, we'll talk more about this. There's a few more thoughts I had on the wide receivers next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this late-night ad to make you more alert, which could help your driving. And science tells us that pulsing beats faster, stimulating audio like traveling sound,
and voices on the higher, so-called brighter end of the audio spectrum like this can encourage focus.
Also, a familiar tune can help, so...
Liberty, 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 liberty. America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Don't let garage door problems sideline your summer plans. Renner Garage Door is ready to tackle repairs, tune-ups, and replacements. Get your free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Geldon, A-Bar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoor.com forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Hey, Chiefs fans, if you forgot to get your game day snacks or even run out of chips during the game, get it faster with Hy-Vee. Order online with Hy-Vee and get groceries as fast as 30 minutes. That's right, groceries as fast as 30 minutes. Get all your game day favorites without missing the game, because when you need groceries fast, you get it faster with Hy-Vee in as fast as 30 minutes. Some restrictions may apply, but that's Hy-Vee for the win. And go Chiefs!
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams. All right, Nathan, you said you're going to be scoreboard watching. Well, not that it matters, but the Red Sox, they're down 2-1, top of the 8th to the Marlins. But the kicker here is the Rangers 5, White Sox 2, bottom of the 3rd. But even more interesting is the Rays up 4-1, bottom of the 8th over the Tigers. As the Tigers could slip to 9 games under 500. So the team that had Skubal, thought they had a chance. Well, they started off like crap, then they got better. Then they get rid of Skubal. Then they got right back there in the wild card race again. But the Tigers could slip to 9 games under 500 with the loss to the Rays. And again, they're down 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, the scoreboard watcher would be saying, "Come on, White Sox, we need you to."
There's too many teams
take
to
care
watch.
of business here.
There's too many teams to watch.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
There's too many teams ahead of them to watch. It drives you nuts. Just take care of business, man. Just take care of business. Let's just have fun. Like
just have fun. Just win a few games, man. That's all.
Before we get to 8 o'clock here, Xavier Worthy. Because that's another, when you think about wide receivers for the future, obviously Tyquan Thornton's still going to be under contract next year. We'll see how that goes. They can always walk away from that one. Rasheed Rice would become a free agent. His 4 years would be done. He had to sit there and watch all these other receivers from his draft class get paid and get extensions. He did not. That was his own fault that he didn't. But Xavier Worthy, his rookie year, he actually showed something, didn't he? I mean, for a guy that came in here that they were impressed with at the combine because of how he looked at the plays and would kind of say, all right, he knew not only what he was supposed to do, but what everybody else was supposed to do, how the blocking assignments worked, and that really impressed the Chiefs. And they were already impressed with him before the 4.21 40. So they were already impressed with him on that. But, he could, take his time, it looked like, in St. Joe, right? Because Hollywood Brown was with the Chiefs at that point. Rasheed Rice was the number 1 receiver. But then guess what happens? Then Hollywood Brown's hurt in the first preseason game. And then Rasheed Rice gets hurt in game 4 against the Chargers. Then all of a sudden, he's basically your go-to guy. And for a guy that really struggled the first 6 weeks of the season to catch the football when he's on the sidelines, staying in bounds or not, but he did. And he led him through the postseason. He actually had more yards and catches than Travis Kelce that postseason where they played the Eagles for the second time in the Super Bowl, the one they lost. But he did. He had 150 in that game. But he led the Chiefs in catches and yards throughout the preseason. And then you're like, all right, I think the Chiefs might have something here. Yeah, he's a little bit undersized, but he played all the time, never missed games at Texas. Not an assistant, didn't miss games in high school, didn't miss them. He's got those nagging injuries that have happened, and a lot of it because of last year. And, of course, running into Travis Kelce on play 3 didn't help that shoulder. But I was looking forward to last year with the Worthy to see what kind of steps he could take from year one, being that rookie, to last year. And last year was kind of a throwaway year. With the injuries he had, the ankle and the nagging injuries he had, and then you have some injuries and stuff lagging and starting to nag him this time of year too. But I was excited to see what he could bring to the table for the Chiefs. I'm not giving up on the guy yet. I know the injuries have been a concern, but just 2 years ago when he was a rookie, he helped the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl.
The more that I think about it, the farther I get removed from last season, I'm also more willing to characterize it as a throwaway year for Worthy as well. I mean, I know he was thrust into the offense late in the season as a rookie in 2024, but you got to remember, fans spent a lot of time clamoring for more Worthy that season. That is after Rice went down, after Hollywood went down, and then after Worthy broke off that run against the Ravens in the first game he played, he was slowly brought along again the rest of the season. And so just looking at this is something where I think the stats help the player. Because looking at the stats, he had 79 touches his first year between receptions and rushes. 79 touches. As a rookie in Andy Reid's offense, it's a lot of touches. And then last year in year 2, where that player would, increase that by 50%, 75%, jump up to 100, 120 touches, he had 53 touches. So he went down by 33% or so in touches from year 1 to year 2 in an Andy Reid offense. That is not normal. And he said as much on Cody and Gold last week, or maybe it was just in a presser that was played on Cody and Gold. He said, I didn't run a full route tree last year. I just didn't have it. That injury was more significant than I think even the Xavier Worthy truthers think it was. I think he was significantly hampered for most of the season last year, the further I get away from last year.
Yeah, he was. And here's the thing with him, too. I want him to get him back to what he's good at. Why you drafted him. I mean, get those 9 routes, the verticals, getting downfield, becoming that guy. I mean, there's been some times in this training camp where he's done that, but this is good and bad. It's like watching a spring game. A guy runs for an 80-yard touchdown. You're like, hey, look at our running game. The bad news is your defense gave up an 80-yard touchdown, right?
Yeah.
So in training camp, he would go deep on plays. So you want to see that, but then Williams was in his back pocket the whole time.
Well,
you wanted to see that separation. So yes, that's good for Noel, but not good for Xavier because you're not getting that separation down the field like you want. Have him return to the guy that you drafted.
Yeah, but 2 things about that, though, with Worthy, because I have seen it in the Super Bowl when they were getting blown out against Philly. I've seen him make contested catches on deep routes in, like I said, contested coverage. Xavier Worthy has got to figure out his beef with the sideline. He's got to figure out what 53.5 yards is. He just has to. I mean, seriously, it's year 3. It's no longer funny. It's no longer excusable. And also, Mahomes has not been good at throwing that ball the last few years. He hasn't. Now, to his credit, he hasn't really had a receiver that's had those traits because Tyreek Hill was fast. He was much more of a jump ball contested catch guy than he was I'm gonna run in a straight line, Deshaun Jackson beat you over the top sort of guy. But Mahomes has to figure out the deep ball as well. So I think that is still there if Worthy could figure out how to get 2 feet in bounds and Mahomes can give him a better ball. I think it's still there.
There's a good question here regarding the Chiefs on the text line. I'll get to that next. But there's one other issue and one other player. Rashee Rice, extend or not? Are you buying into it or are you like, say la vie? We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Accounts subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today, and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
For more than 6 decades, family-owned Ready Services has kept Kansas City comfortable. From expert plumbing to HVAC, they provide honest repairs. No high-pressure sales. Don't just get a quick fix. Get it done right the first time at ReadyServices.com. REDDI Services.com.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
You work hard, you pay your bills, but with credit cards, higher gas and grocery prices, you're making the payments, but not getting ahead. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Golden Oak can help you refinance, consolidate bills, and free up monthly cash flow. Call today for a free mortgage checkup. There's never a charge to talk with us.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Fan Cash Fridays are here. Listen every Friday for your chance to win $100 in Fan Cash from Fanatics Sportsbook. Use Fan Cash to unlock unlimited profit boosts, exclusive merch, collectibles, and more. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. See full rules on 96.5 The Fan contest page.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back, 8 o'clock hour after hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams. Did you happen to watch the Little League World Series Classic last night, the Major League one?
I did, yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that, the game between the Brewers and the Braves, but it was more than just that game. It was just how cool. Now, they've done this before. They've done it, since like 2019 or something. They've been doing it for years, but in Williamsport, having the pros there, and, someone went sliding down the hill in the boxes, with the kids and all that. But I thought it was a cool production on what they did. It was Carl Ravage's last game with ESPN, but they were out there. Him and Eduardo Perez were sitting out there in the stands. And they had the alt cast on it, too, with the Todd Frazier's of the world.
That's the one I was watching. I enjoyed it. Absolutely.
Frazier's good. But I was watching Carl Ravage's last game. But to have the players mic'd, did they still do the players mic'd up on the alt cast because they did on the regular cast?
Not in the portion of the games that I was watching. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the last 4 innings or so. So I didn't catch them if they did. But who was it Garrett Mitchell?
Garrett Mitchell was one of them that was mic'd up.
That was really cool. Carl Ravage has been Great for the game of baseball, and also very generous with us here at the station with his time whenever the Royals have played on ESPN in recent years. And so, obviously, with all the recent cuts at ESPN, Carl Ravitch is one of the ones that, for me, growing up a baseball fan,
I don't know why he's gone,
time,
to be honest with you.
That one stings.
There's plenty of other people to be gone, but not him.
More Pat McAfee, so.
So they had him. They had him on there. Did you see old Lane Thomas?
Yeah.
For the Braves?
Yeah. Old and hopefully future Royals center fielder Lane Thomas.
So it's Lane Thomas. But anyway, I thought it was cool because then the kids could ask the major. They do the mic'd up segments. We've seen this. They do this with MLB players, but they did it multiple times because usually it's just one, right? It's usually one player when ESPN does it, but they did it with several players. They did it with Michael Harris too, of the Braves. They had him on, and then him. But Garrett actually said something nice about Ravitch. Did you hear that part? Where he goes, "Thank you for everything." Is that what you were talking about? Where he thanked him for everything he's done for baseball.
That's the moment I was talking about. That was very cool.
Okay.
Very, very cool.
So Chris Sale went and joined him as well. So he actually goes to their broadcast booth because they're sitting out there in the stands. So Chris Sale joins them actually in the stands. We're talking about the same Chris Sale that cut up all the White Sox uniforms at one time because he goes completely red ass sometimes. But he was like he's chilled out a lot. I like Chris Sale, but he goes and sits with them during the broadcast, answering questions from the kids as well. I thought Major League Baseball hit a complete, pardon the pun, but a home run on this deal. But I think it's great. I love when they do these. I remember a few years ago they did the Fort Bragg game and stuff like that. They did the NASCAR track game this year too, but they make big events. I give them credit for doing these things outside the norm and capitalizing. And I know it's, just fun, silly baseball, but the Savannah Bananas and what they've become, I mean, it's unreal what they've become. Have you ever been to a Bananas game?
I am going to sound like the world's biggest hater if I talk about the Bananas. I really don't want to.
Well, you can hate on them all you want. That's fine. I understand.
I don't hate them. It's just not for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for a lot of people. But the funny thing is, you watch this and just all the sellouts they have. They sold it out over 100,000 people at A&M.
Yeah.
You go to Boise. I'm flipping on ESPN, and I'll give them credit for something that just started out in Savannah, Georgia. I mean, they had a contract like with ESPN. They're going to be on Turner or True TV too as well. But Boise State, they sold out that game. They were at Busch Stadium for a couple nights this last weekend. Sell out, in St. Louis. They got 6 teams now. So I think it's a fad. I think it's going to go away because it's basically the same thing you're seeing every single time. And they do trick plays and stuff, but they miss a lot of them too, which is not what you see the Globetrotters do a lot.
Yellow suit guy he found a market and he's tapped it. He's
done
taken
well.
advantage of it. All the credit in the world from the business side and for maybe making a fan that would not be a fan of baseball, a casual fan, maybe appealing to a child who wouldn't otherwise go to a baseball game, a la Harlem Globetrotters of yesteryear, and turning that person into a casual fan who will want to go to a ball game every year, might buy a jersey, might take their children out to the ballpark, might follow the team on Twitter and see highlights, right? So kudos to them. It is, to me, and I haven't been in person, so granted, I haven't experienced it live. I've watched the game on TV, though. To me, it feels like I'm watching people film TikToks. Doesn't really feel like I'm watching baseball.
It's a fad, but it's amazing for what they've been able to do. I'll give them full credit for this because they sell out everywhere they go. They sell out everywhere they go.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's incredible what they're doing. But I'm talking about bringing the fun back into the sport. That's kind of like baseball with the whole Williamsport thing is it's real baseball you're watching, but it's a fun atmosphere around it. The NASCAR thing, I think they did with the baseball too this year, where the players are riding around in the cars, before the game, like you do at NASCAR track, NASCAR events, was cool. But this Williamsport thing, I think ESPN does a great job for it. I have a lot of problems with some of the broadcasts they do with games, but that was 100% out. They made it fun. Like, it was a fun event to watch. It's fun to sit there and watch a Braves-Brewers game because they kept you entertained throughout the whole time. The 816 says Mitchell was in game and Chris Sale was in the stands. Yeah, that part is true. It says giving thanks to Ravitch. So I didn't hear Chris Sale do it. Maybe he did. But Mitchell definitely did on his jog in when he was jogging in from the outfield when he gave praise to Carl Ravitch. Chris Sale might have done it too. I don't know. But that was Mitchell that did it on his way in. But yeah, Chris Sale was sitting right there next to him, so he might have done it too.
Yeah, and we had a good ball game too. The Brewers they threatened in both the bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 9th. Harris hit a home run in the top of the 9th. It was two of the 3 best teams in the National League going head to head. I thought the broadcast was good. Thought the altcast was good. And I'm not always a fan. I like that they try to do the alternative things. I like that they do the series at Rickwood and the Field of Dreams and the NASCAR series. I don't think they're all hits, but I thought last night's broadcast and the production as a whole was a hit. Absolutely.
No, it was. The NASCAR was back in 25. It was not this year, but the year before. It was at Bristol.
Yeah.
And the Braves were in that one too. The Braves and the Reds were in that game. But it's trying things outside the norm and still having a regular game. No silly stuff going on. I'm talking. That's why I brought up bananas. No silly, antics going on. Just straight baseball going on. But this is something I think baseball needs. It's the Field of Dreams game that the Royals are going to be in next year. That thing's been going on for 5-6 years now. The Field of Dreams game. Yeah. They've done it like 5-6 years, but it's fun to watch that game. These type of things baseball is enjoying and capitalizing on. The NHL does it with these stadium series.
Yes.
And they'll go and play at an NFL stadium or venue or big-time college event, but the big-time, playing outdoor hockey with a real NHL game, outdoors makes it fun. You start marketing it and do a stadium series. It's not going to – I brought this up many times. I always thought the NFL, with them wanting to expand and do all this international games they're doing now with Paris now and Spain, all these international games, to have a stadium series in the NFL. I don't think I've ever brought this up with you, Nathan, but when they go to 18 games, which they inevitably will, and instead of every team playing 4 games in London and Paris and keep doing these, do a stadium series, man. Have the Chiefs go play the Dallas Cowboys in Norman, Oklahoma, or something like that. Just do a stadium. Have the Atlanta Falcons play in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I think if you got the NFL fan bases, can you imagine Chiefs Kingdom spending a weekend in a college town? With the team, not with the team would be gone to be a road game for that, that college team. But can you imagine Chiefs Kingdom showing up in the buses and everything, hitting the bars, making it a full weekend event to play the NFL Stadium Series game? I think it'd be cool.
So what's the split here?
But they don't need it. Don't get me wrong. The NFL doesn't need it because they do just fine making money. These other sports need it. Football doesn't, but sure as hell would be cool.
8 road, 8 home, 1 international, 1 neutral site game a year for the split. I'd be in.
Or you take international because they're all going to play international games. We know that.
Yeah.
But just the expansion of got games in Brazil and stuff too. Why not take that and put it in a college market, just right here where the fans can go to the game, not hop on an 18-hour flight?
What's the capacity of the Field of Dreams game? Like 5,000 or 6,000 or something like that? Can you leverage your connections to get me into that game next summer, Bink? I would really appreciate that. I got to find out a way to get there.
I remember when it first came like a tourist attraction after the movie. I'd called because I wanted to drive up to Dyersville, Iowa to see it. And they said, yeah, it's really. I called like the Chamber of Commerce up there or something. They said, yeah, you turn right at the hog selling barn and you go down to the field. 4,200, it can expand to 8,000 using temporary bleachers.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever been there at all? Like, not all?
No, I would, but to go
to a Royals game
to see that game with your team in it. I mean, my gosh, to see the Bobby Witt Jr. and Jack Hackleone play in that game would be poetry. It would be amazing. It's way up there too. It's up by like Dubuque, isn't it? It's like pretty far up northeast.
Yeah, Dyersville, Iowa is where it's at.
Yeah.
The international games this year, 9 regular season games international. We got Melbourne, Australia, Rio, London, 3 games total in London this year. Paris, France, Madrid, Spain, Munich, Germany, Mexico City are the international games this year for the NFL. And there's probably a lot of guys that honestly don't want to get on a flight that long because they have, A-League injuries or whatever, and they certainly do after the game to get on a long flight like that because it does. And sometimes they give people bye weeks afterwards. They try to. Some teams don't take it. Like Buffalo played in England one time. They didn't take their bye week so they could take their bye week right before they played the Kansas City Chiefs. That actually happened a couple of years ago, kind of one of those unseen things, but the Buffalo Bills did that and for some reason got away with it because I guess the NFL loves the Buffalo Bills. Everybody says they love the Chiefs. Well, they like Buffalo in that situation.
Tell you what.
But this would just be down the road game. Like you're having a game down the road. You'd have the Detroit Lions play at Michigan at the Big House. You'd have fun things like this.
Heck yeah.
You could do. You'd have the Rams go to the Coliseum. I mean, there is fun things you could do in the NFL, and it could be all done right here, not far away for these teams to actually go to and travel. And certainly the rabid fan bases that pay sometimes well over $5,000 for their season tickets to be able to go to these games, because a lot of them aren't going to be hopping a plane and going to Paris or Madrid.
Absolutely. And, was it the Seahawks opener and then the 49ers Rams is going to be the night after? Man, and I know everyone was upset that the Seahawks game might have been put on Thursday because they won and they should have the first game. But if I'm the Rams and the Niners, I would have been lobbying to the NFL. You're sending me to freaking Australia.
Yeah, the
you have any
Patriots.
idea how long that flight is? I want every off day possible after that game. I want to be on Wednesday.
Patriots Seahawks is the Wednesday game.
Yeah.
That's the Wednesday game. Then
Flying to
Thursday
Australia
is
is
the
some BS.
The Melbourne game, the Niners and Rams.
I'd be hot if I was a coach or a player on one of those teams. Oh man, that is messed up. Now, they're millionaires. I get it. They'll get over it. Boo-hoo. But like, that flight is like what, 16, 17 hours? I mean, it's.
Oh yeah,
that's a long haul.
Oh yeah, the Rams, don't they actually have 2 international games this year?
Couldn't tell you, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they do. Aren't they in Mexico City too? I think they got with 2 of them. I do know that the Chiefs Rams game was the biggest ratings for preseason in a decade. You see that?
Yeah, it's wild. People even watch the Chiefs in the preseason. It's crazy.
Yeah. So but here's the thing.
No, Vikings and Niners are in Mexico City.
Oh, is that who?
Vikings and Niners. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't look like any teams repeat internationally this year. Just one per team, except for the Jaguars, of course. 2 games back-to-back weeks in London.
Okay. Well, I know that. They do those back-to-back games there, but so hopefully the Jags will not be drug into that, because they've been doing just the one game there. But they go there all the time for a team trying to build its Duval fan base. They're not doing it so well. No, the Niners. The Niners are in Mexico. Where's their other international? The Niners? I thought one team was doing 2 of them. I could be wrong. I probably am.
Oh, yes, duh. The Niners.
Okay.
We just mentioned. They're also in the Australia game.
Okay.
So they're playing in Australia and Mexico
Okay, so
City.
it's the Niners that are in Australia and in Mexico. So they're 2 international games, and they have to deal with that power station that's injuring all their players. Interesting stuff for them. I don't know.
9 season incoming, baby.
I just think it'd be kind of cool. But you definitely need to go to Dyersville, Iowa to watch the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You tell me who to call, who to get on the phone with, who to rub elbows with. I'll do it, man.
We'll talk to Spec about it.
We'll carpool up there.
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
Let's go to Dyersville. All right, I didn't get to the Chiefs question that was on there because I got distracted with that game last night, because I was just seeing some of the residual. People loved it. People absolutely loved that game, so I wanted to talk about it. We'll do that. The Chiefs next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win. Like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%. Which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Futures Week on 96.5 The Fan starts Monday, August 31st with season-long NFL predictions from every show. Yes, CDOT has promised to pick the Chargers to win the AFC West. Yes, Bob thinks the Chiefs will go 17-0. Yes, Drew will have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. Yes, that prediction is stupid. Futures Week on 96.5 The Fan starts August 31st, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams. Futures Week's going to be fun. We're going to do some futures here eventually, too, right before the season starts, because it's always fun to have just whatever and just see how wrong you were, because, a lot of wrong things. Just like that Patriots-Raiders game in Week 1.
Yeah, then the Raiders end up with the number 1 pick, and the Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Week 1's a liar.
Yep.
The text line, 913-586-7965. Chiefs-related questions. Send them on in. 816 says he starts out hot talking about Rashee Rice. What are the odds we re-sign Rashee during the season for a decent extension like we did with Tyreek, for a while? But here's the thing with Tyreek. Once he got to that break the bank, he was traded for picks. Rashee, I was all for, Nathan, I'll admit it. I was all for the extension for him when he came back from that 6-game suspension, because the first 5 games he looked so good. Remember? Catching the back shoulder from Mahomes in the end zone, had that chemistry with him. And I was like, okay, every quarterback needs their guy. And clearly Kelsey's been his guy. And like he was Alex Smith, right? So you have to have your guy. Everybody's got one, right? Brady had Gronk. He had him all the time. Manning's always had Wayne or Harrison. He had his guys. Rice with Montana. But you have to have a guy. And who is going to be Mahomes' guy? If Kelsey retires, which we all think he's going to happen, although he just always comes back, but eventually he will. But probably this year, I guess. And Rashee Rice is gone. So who is going to be the guy? Is Cyrus going to be that way? He's got a lot to prove before you say, quote, he's his guy. You don't know. Does he actually have one? And that's my biggest concern. Does Mahomes have his guy? Because Rashee looked like it. And here was my thinking on the extension, Nathan, was the fact is you could basically have a top 20 receiver. The way he was, there was no better fantasy option than Rashee Rice when he first came back. Remember how good he was when he came back from the suspension? And then it started to go downhill a little bit. Not beating man coverage. He was dropping passes. And then he got hurt there at the end of the year. Things changed. But I thought, man, with everything that he's had going on, not getting the endorsements, even from like furniture stores, he didn't even get those at this point. Think of all the money that he left on the table had he not done all that stuff, right? Think about all the money. Because this town used to pay Isaiah Pacheco to pedal couches, remember? Nebraska Furniture Mart, I think, had those Pacheco commercials. But you can make even money on that. But he's not going to make the big money like, Mahomes on a State Farm or an Oakley or something like that, or Gatorade. Not going to get that. But the secondary ones he wasn't getting. But I thought you'd get a top 20 receiver for top 30 money. I thought you'd get a discount because of all the loyalty the Chiefs have shown him and been with him every step of the way, taking care of him. That, it's a hometown discount. Would he be willing to take it? I don't know.
No.
But we're past that point now. I'm past that point now. Showed me enough last year with not beating man coverage, which, by the way, Cyrus Allen, reception perception that grades college football, 75% against man success rate last year for Cyrus Allen. That's the one thing the Chiefs struggled against was beating man. Rashee Rice, if he goes out and balls out, which again, it's a big equation. A big equation. What can he do? Would you be willing to sit down and talk Rashee Rice extension.
Absolutely not. Never in a million years. He could have 1,600 yards and 20 touchdowns this year.
So you're saying you
There
would?
is 0% of me would like to resign Rashee Rice. Now, if this was fantasy land that the text line lives in and says, well, maybe they could sign him to a discount. Maybe they can sign him to Tyreek Hill's contract. If Rashee Rice just does what Rashee Rice has done on the field, which is over a 17-game average, right at about 1,000 yards. He's never had a 1,000-game season because he hasn't stayed healthy. But if he just does that, starts 17 games, goes for 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, he's going to get $30 million a year on the open market. No discounts, no like what ifs, where he might have to pay for it compared to guys like Alec Pierce, Zay Flowers, is in the guaranteed money, right? Because even though Pierce signed for $25 million a year, or $29 million a year, or whatever, Flowers signed for $35 a year. Both of their contracts essentially guarantee 3 out of the 4 years. Rice might only get 2 guaranteed years, for example. So he might get 4 for 120 with 50 or 60 guaranteed. But he's not going to pay for it in an annual average value sense. No, Rashee Rice is going to get $30 million a year when he hits the open market if there's no more legal trouble. Now, if there is more and it really becomes he's suspended again, then maybe we're talking about a discount. But as we sit right now, based on what he's done off the field, he is still going to get paid. Some team, the Commanders, is going to be desperate to put someone around their quarterback next year, and they're going to give him 4 for 120. Hell, Alec Pierce is getting that amount of money.
Yeah.
There is no situation in which I'm considering giving Rashee Rice that amount of money. None, ever.
When he came back, he had 3 touchdowns. So his first 2 games back, he had 3 touchdowns. He only played till December 14th. You realize that? So he comes back. His first game was October 19th. His final game was December 14th. So he started off really well. Then 9 catches, 93 yards the next week. I'll never forget that Indy game. He exploded for 8 for 141 in that game. And you think, all right, this extension. But does that kind of put the pressure on the organization a little bit to find Mahomes' his guy? Because that's the one thing. Like when he's standing up in Canton, Ohio, giving his speech, sure, he'll talk about the Super Bowl run and throwing the Kelsey and everything there in the beginning, but who's he going to talk about for the last, 8-9 years of his career in Kansas City? Who's going to be the guy he's talking about being his receiver? Is he on the roster right now?
You mean in his Hall of Fame induction?
Yeah.
Who is his one?
Yeah, when he's standing up there in Canton talking about in his 30s, once Kelsey retired, he became his go-to guy and his trustworthy guy he always threw to, he could always depend on. Is that guy exist? Is he on the roster or is he not? Or is he in college?
If he's on this roster, he's Cyrus Allen. You are the one that knows about the college ranks more than I do. I'd defer to you. I think it's more likely that he's in the league on a different team right now and going to be acquired via trade in the next few seasons. That's where I put my eggs if I had to put them in one basket, yeah.
But you agree that he needs one. Like, he needs a guy that he can count on. You go to games.
Hasn't had one in 5 years.
Your Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow combination, you got to have the dude. And Josh Allen, for the most part, too, let's give him credit. He didn't really have that, quote, guy yet either that he's going to need throughout his 30s because he's the same age basically as Mahomes. He's going to need to have that dude. Who's it going to be? That's the question. Like that's that. Yeah, I think about that quite a bit, and that's what I've been thinking about through the draft the last couple of years. Like who's going to be the guy? And I thought, okay, Rashee Rice seems like because they had a great connection, man. Rashee Rice's rookie year, remember how good he was? Had over 900 yards receiving, was second in the NFL amongst rookies for catches and yards, only behind Puka.
Yeah, and how good he was. Third down conversion monster.
And it was like, man, there you go. There's Mahomes' guy.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
Mahomes' guy for the future. And then he comes back from the suspension. I was like, there he is. There's him and Mahomes doing their deal. Don't feel that way anymore.
It's all been downhill since he snapped about not getting the ball at the end of regulation in that Super Bowl, his rookie year. I mean, literally, it has all been downhill since then. So, I mean, you take the man coverage stuff with the off-the-field stuff. I mean, I remember Nate Taylor sitting in here with CDOT last year questioning the effort and finishing routes in this wide receiver room. There are just so many flags with Rashee Rice that are red that even a productive season this year might render them orange at best. And Yes, of course, if he has a good year, another 900-yard year, 6 touchdowns, and he would sign a contract for $20 million a year, sure. But if he's productive again, he's going to get Alec Pierce money at a minimum. And so I don't think there's anything he could do this year that would make me feel comfortable giving a player with his orange to red flags, all of them, that amount of money. I just don't think there is.
I'm with you now on it. I wasn't that way earlier, but now I am. Can you imagine? I mean, he's clearly, I talk about Simmons being the most pivotal for the Kansas City Chiefs for this year. Rice is the most of the game. 100% the most of the game for the Kansas City Chiefs this year, in my opinion. I don't think there's another player on that roster with more on the line than Rashee Rice.
For his future? Just his pocketbook? Yeah.
For him individually, he's got more on the
yeah.
line because he's got a situation here where he's actually a number one wide receiver in the NFL, because that wouldn't happen in other places, but it's happening here with the team that's won 3 Super Bowls, with the Hall of Fame quarterback, with the Hall of Fame head coach. He's got every opportunity to succeed. The number one receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs right now, Rashee Rice, it's up to him. He's living on second-round money at this point. You know how much money he probably had to spend on legal fees and everything else? Seriously, he's on second-round money. He didn't have that big extension, like Zay Flowers and Christian Watson and all these other guys that got paid. He didn't have that. So he doesn't have that cash. He has got a chance to go cash in at his age right now if he keeps his nose clean. But again, I would think some teams would be worried about it a little bit because you've been knocked for 6 games. Guess what? The next one's going to be even more.
Absolutely. I think Rice is number one with a bullet here. I'd put Worthy and Karlaftis on that list too. Karlaftis, was that 10.5 sack year a mirage? Are you a 6 sack guy that just overproduced one year? Or are you a guy that can get double-digit sacks in this league? And so what does your third contract look like? Yep. Xavier Worthy, are you a guy that's going to stick in this league and get 20, 30? Hell, Zay Flowers is getting $35 million a year. Are you going to get a real second contract? Or are you DeAnthony Thomas, McCole Hardman? I think both of those guys have a lot to prove this year, but I still think Rashee Rice has the most to gain. And with him, it's frustrating because you've seen the on-the-field production. It's really from a personal and a health standpoint more than everything else with Rashee Rice.
Well, there's one part of this team that I wish would get back to its original form. I'll discuss that. Plus a text asking about draft regrets this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll address that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
When your joints hurt every single day and you've been told you need surgery, it can feel like there's only one option left. But please do your homework. Remember, once a joint is replaced, there's no going back. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Before you schedule that surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with the pain of bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or just years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatments to deliver real relief to patients right here in Kansas City. They concentrate tiny healing tools from within your own body, targeting the exact spot that's causing the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. So get your free consultation at QC Kinetics now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located at 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Don't let garage door problems sideline your summer plans. Renner Garage Door is ready to tackle repairs, tune-ups, and replacements. Get your free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Geldon, A-Bar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoor.com forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Nathan Williams. All right, Nathan, if there's one part of this team and I could say they're going to return to dominance, there's one part of this team that you want to see have success, what would it be? Because this defense, it did have some new pieces thrown into it, but let's not forget this was a top 10 defense last year, total defense. It was number 6 in the NFL in scoring defense, so they've got the bar right there where they need to be for this particular team. Yeah, third down defense was atrocious. Fourth down defense, they were number 1. So there's improvements they got to do. Mm-hmm. To me, it's return to that offense. That's why it's so frustrating when I watch, and I know it's preseason, but just being in sync. And I'm not talking about the way things have gone for this team so far, the 12 penalties, 83 yards in the first game, 8 for 57 in his last game, the 20 total penalties where you can't really get anything going and you can't get that offense in sync. And I get it's preseason, there's no Mahomes, so you really can't evaluate it at all, to be honest with you. But I want to see this offense get back. There was, I brought it up last week, there was an anonymous scout in the NFC, right? They did a story on the Chiefs and Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. One anonymous NFC defensive coordinator, not a scout, said that he used to worry about Andy Reid. There'll be a lot less think about Andy Reid all night type things when they're playing the Chiefs the next day. Get back to that fear factor where that Chiefs offense over 30 points a game. I mean, they were the lowest they were with Eric Bieniemy the first round was 6. That was the low. They were first, they were second, but the lowest they were in scoring offense was 6th. Would you rather see them get back to that point, like top 5, top 6, or would you rather see a top 5 or 6 defense?
Well, I'd rather see a top 5 offense. That means the O-line is fixed for the future. That means probably Xavier Worthy. You're confident in him moving forward. It means Cyrus Allen. You're confident in him moving forward. It means Mahomes was healthy. And yeah, it means Andy Reid probably still has it as a play caller. But I would say I think it's more likely, maybe not top 6, I think it's more likely that this is an above-average offense than the defense is an above-average defense. I think we could have both, but I think there's more variance in the defense. On offense, I look at this and I say, look, I've seen Mahomes with a capable O-line, a capable running back, and a bunch of Jags at wide receiver. And I've seen him before. I've seen him take those teams to Super Bowls before. So could they still not get a whole lot out of Rice and Worthy and be the 11th best offense in the NFL just because they can run the ball now? Yeah, I think that's very possible. On defense, I think if the pass rush isn't there and Spags has to use that young secondary to manufacture pressure, I think this defense could be a below-average defense. And so if I could pick any room on this team to have success this year, it would be that edge room. It would be Ashton Gelati, FAU, R. Mason Thomas, George Karlaftis. Because if this front 4 can generate pass rush and this defense can just get off the freaking field on third down, I think we're going to see this team win a lot of 24-20, 23-17 type ball games. And I think I'm right back into where I was a year ago with that 15-2 team of, hey, it's going to be close late. The defense will make a play when it needs to. And I like Mahomes with the ball in his hand late in the game. So, yeah, give me an edge room that has success over anything else on this team.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see that, but I want playmakers. I want the guy you can throw to, he can go 60 yards for a touchdown. I want the fear factor with your offense that, hey, we got to watch this guy because Cyrus Allen's going to take off, or Rashee Rice is going to score a touchdown down the field, or Travis Kelce is going to get over the middle. Have that fear factor about the offense, because that's what people feared initially about the Kansas City Chiefs was Mahomes, that 5,000-yard, 50-touchdown season he had. The defense would give up what? They gave up over 50, and the Chiefs still lost the game. Or the Chiefs scored over 50 and still lost the game to the Rams, that 54-51 game.
Well,
scored
Mahomes
over 40 and lost to the Patriots.
Throw 3 picks and put the ball on the ground twice in that game.
But the offense kept people up at night. They were worried about the Chiefs' offense, the creativity, all the things they did, and having playmakers, not manufacturing where a 3rd and 8 seems like an impossible thing to get. A receiver that could take the ball at 8 yards out and just boom, gone. You have the playmakers that other defenses are working on so that they work in tandem, because I'm excited about this backfield and running the football, because I think they work hand in hand. The 2 high shell safeties, I think if the safeties start playing back, then Kenneth Walker can definitely eat in the running game, or Emmett Johnson if you sprinkle him in, or DeMarcado, whatever. And then if the safeties creep up because they're not worried about your downfield passing game, guess what? That hurts your running game. And that hurts your offseason, and what you made the emphasis was the running game. So to keep the defense honest, I want to see them both work hand in hand in tandem. And right now I'm not seeing it with the offensive skill position. Of course, Mahomes isn't out there, but I want to see what happens when you throw a Kenneth Walker in the backfield with an explosive passing game as well, so they work off each other hand in hand.
You remember, because obviously the first few weeks Mahomes took over, it was new, it was exciting, it was amazing. There was a game late in his rookie year or early in his second year where they played in Oakland at the Raiders, and they scored 28 points in the second quarter. And it was just like, it was the easiest thing ever. They got the ball, they'd go 3 plays, they were in the end zone. Demarcus Robinson was eating in that game. It was just so easy. Oh my goodness, it would be nice to see that again. I think, though, even if we don't see that, I'm very confident this offense can be 2023 offense. Now, I think Ken Walker's better than Pacheco. Don't get me wrong. I think he's significantly better than Pacheco. But you remember that offense. There was not a whole lot of explosion in that wide receiver room. It was really just Travis Kelce. It was, you got to respect the run with Pacheco. And then Mahomes has, his 3rd down targets. He's got his security blanket over the field with Travis Kelce. But other than that, it's up to Mahomes to manufacture. I think with Rice healthy, with Kelce still in the mix, even though he's lost a step or 2, I think you're looking at a similar thing this year. They can run the ball, they can move the chains, and then hopefully there is that explosive threat. But I'm with you. I'm not seeing that explosion in this offense right now. I'm not.
Because that's where they were elite. Like, they were elite offensively, moving the football down the field. In fact, when Tyreek was here, they had explosion. He could go off 75 yards on you for a touchdown. You didn't have to worry. But I am excited about, the passing game, being, mid to they're not going to have the explosive plays. Hopefully Worthy, and Thornton break out on a few deep balls for the Kansas City Chiefs. But the ability when you're up 14 or 10, hand the ball off to Walker and just run the football. Take that clock down. I hope the Chiefs can do that way until they hit phase 2 there with getting the skill positions in the 27 draft.
Man, and for the love of God, Andy, you can give it to Ken Walker 2 plays in a row. You can run on 1st and 10, and then if you only get 2 yards at 2nd and 8, you can run it again.
Yeah.
You can give it to him twice. You're allowed to do that with your running backs.
Because I'm not fearful for the rookies. I think they will use them. I know there's this misnomer that Andy Reid won't use rookies. That's not true. I mean, he doesn't always do it, of course. It's been limited. But Kareem Hunt, as a rookie, led the NFL in rushing.
Sure.
Rashee Rice, again, over 900 yards as a rookie, was second in the NFL to all rookie receivers doing it. So he got the chance. Xavier Worthy got his chance and led the Chiefs second half through that season. So, yeah, Cyrus Allen, I know he's a rookie, but still he can get the football a lot and help this team going forward. All right, here was the question from the 816. If the lane is so-so, will Downs or Bain be a regret? Here's the thing. I think it's way too early. Caleb Downs is a stud. I always like Caleb Downs. He's going to be a stud with the Cowboys. Bain might be great. I don't know. I mean, that was his first action. I don't think he played in the first preseason game. He didn't register a sack or tackle in that game. Definitely had that pressure when he threw Khalil Benson off the side. I don't think they'll regret it again. These type of things take more than a year. Like 2 years down the road, I think you can get it. Like if Bain's sitting there with double-digit sacks his first 2 years, you might say, all right, maybe they should have got Reuben Bain instead of Mansour Delane. But they still needed corner. And what if Peter Woods turns out to be great? Then all of a sudden you wouldn't have had Peter Woods because guess what? You would have had a dress corner where you drafted Peter Woods. So you take those things out of the equation because they definitely needed corner. I mean, Mansour Delane, a corner was needed for the Kansas City Chiefs. But you would need at least, I think, 2 seasons to have regret about something.
I'm with you, but I will say if Delane is so-so, that's a miss. I don't care how you slice it.
Well,
you're trading up for a corner to number 6. I mean, how many corners miss outside of Jeff Okudah in the top 10 recently? Not many. You should be having a borderline all-pro player in a couple of years at that draft slot. So Bain would be a regret. Caleb Downs would be a regret. If Carnell Tate hits, he'd be a regret. Hell, Jeremiah Love would be a regret. Everybody would be a regret if Delane is just so-so. Now, he needs to be a well above average corner in a year or two.
Yeah, if Walker's a stud,
pay off.
If he outperforms Love, then I think that would settle
I'm not
itself
complaining
there.
about having Ken Walker instead of Love. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying if Delane is an average NFL starting cornerback, this pick will be looked at as a miss.
We'll see. You definitely need those years. Like Noah Williams showed progress in year 1. He wasn't a first-round pick either. So that's, first-round picks you have expectations on, especially the 6th pick in the draft. But it's too early, I think, to know on either of those guys. We don't know. They haven't. None of them played a regular season game, so we don't know. We don't know about Mansour. We don't know about Ruben Bain, and we don't know about Caleb Downs because they haven't played, against quote the ones.
Yeah.
And Ruben Bain's first action was going against some turnstiles at tackle for the Chiefs. So again, let the regular season again. If he puts together like double-digit sack year, it's like, oh man, maybe they made a mistake not getting Ruben. So that's always on the table.
Yeah.
Or Caleb Downs, I think, can be a very versatile defensive player for years to come. So it's going to be a good one. But I do believe in Mansour Delane. Like, I do think that's a good pick for the Chiefs.
I do too. And it's just a difference based on draft slot because Noah Williams, I mean, you've said it frequently, if 2025 draft was redone, he'd probably be a first-round pick, but he wasn't. And so with Noah Williams, it is hype, it's hope, it's projection. With Mansour Delane, it's an expectation at number 6 overall. And I think I have the hopes for him as well. But it was born first as an expectation just based on draft slot. It's the name of the game.
It's true. So we'll see. 913-586-7965 is the J Southland Tow Service text line. We come back, Nathan. Let's look at the Royals again. Because tomorrow night's that important series, my friend. I'll be texting you about it. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
One contractor, all things parking lot. That's who they are over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, a locally owned and operated company who is ready to take on that project for you. Whether it be commercial paving services, asphalt services, or any large-scale project. The first thing a client sees about your business is the parking lot, and Gann Asphalt and Concrete is ready to make sure it gives the right first impression. Trust a locally owned and operated company who is ready to do that work for you. Give them a call, 816-688-3512, or check them out at GannAsphalt.com.
While enjoying family and friends this Labor Day, be sure to open the gates with Gates Extra Hot Sauce. It's great on spinach, asparagus, broccoli, and more. Also, be sure to use Gates Hot and Spicy seasonings on fresh fruit, vegetables, popcorn, and nuts, while enhancing your salad dressings with Gates Hot and Spicy seasoning for that extra flavor pop. Pick these up at your local grocer, and if you don't see them, ask for them. Make Gates a part of your Labor Day. Proudly serving Kansas City for 80 years. Thanks, with love.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Bingley, Nathan Williams. Got a text from the text line, Nathan. Said they're listening to the show. They said thanks. They're on their way to the grocery store to get diapers and some IPA.
Hell yeah.
That's a perfect combo, isn't it?
Let's go. You're going to need one for the other, right?
That's a really nice combo. Have you gotten into the Oktoberfest beers yet?
I'm into all sorts of beers, man. Not yet for the season, but I will be here in... football starts next weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be there very soon. Very soon.
I already have the Oktoberfest loaded up for the games this weekend. Got Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Clutch.
Yeah, I know.
Love
I'm
it.
talking about Oktoberfest in August, but guess what? That's when it comes out. It actually comes out late July. It's already made. It's just sitting there. They finish it in like June or something. So might as well sell it, right? It doesn't do any good just sitting, some truck or back room, storage room or something. It matters to sell it. And Bob's 47, the Boulevard Oktoberfest. I recommend those. They're very good. And out in your area, Lawrence Free State's got a nice Oktoberfest too.
Free State's
very
cool.
good one.
Yeah, I like Free State. I haven't done the Oktoberfest. I'll be doing it this fall, though, because you've been recommending that to me. So I will be hitting up Free State for some Oktoberfest.
Then right around Halloween, you start getting the switch to, they already made what they're making. Obviously, they don't keep making Oktoberfest, so they sell what they have and see if they can, if it sells out or whatever. Most of the time it does. They switch over to the winter beers.
Yes, sir. That is
your winter
that
lagers
is where I
and
am.
stuff like that.
Stouts.
Mother's Winter Grind. You would love this, by the way. Mother's Winter Grind. They make it in Springfield, Missouri at Mother's Brewing Company. Dude, I'm telling you, every winter, definitely get the winter lager. I mean, it is a Christmas beer, man. I mean, it's dark. It's wonderful.
Man, I trust you with my life when it comes to beer. So I would yeah, I'm
It's
in.
Coors Light for me the rest of the year, which still I'll sprinkle that in as well. But I will do the Oktoberfest or the winter beers because I enjoy them so much.
I like every give me any beer that goes good with a lime. Any import from Mexico. Boulevard has their lager that has salt and lime on it. That's what I like in the summer. Give me a beer that goes good with a lime.
You can lime a Coors Light.
You could. I guess
Is
you
that
could.
not bad?
Yeah.
No, but you definitely like the darker beers in season.
Oh,
though,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Nothing better than a Guinness on a cold night. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man, that's some good stuff. But
A tap. On tap.
But trust me about that winter grind. I hunted for it. Kept calling the liquor stores trying to get it. I think Maloney, owns Maloney's and stuff, and part of the owner of the Landing and the Sand Trap. He helped me say where it's at.
You know, something that I like about you, and I think maybe my generation could pick up on, you want something, you just go get it. You call the distributor, you call the Chamber of Commerce, you talked about that earlier, you call the cable provider, you got a problem, you just call up and speak to the person. I like that about you.
Yeah, you call them. It's a great thing. If you want to find out if your favorite beer, you don't have to sit there and look online or whatever. Just give them a call. Say, do you have this beer in yet? Because I want to go buy this beer. Do you have it? Pretty simple thing, Nathan. Pretty
and
simple
we're getting
thing.
there. Football season, winter beer season, we're getting there.
Oh, it's perfect time for winter beers. Anyway, enjoyed it with you, Nathan. Good job by you. Thanks for Ron Kopfermer, Head Pride, joining us. Bob Fesco, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens, 5:58 in the morning. See you guys later.